Dirty shorts after the first bounce because about 10 just jumped into the mud there. And he's going to have to throw it up here now because there was no chance anyone was going to get away from there. Michael Gale lying over the top of the ball. In the end, Stevenson got a short kick up to centre half forward for Hawthorn. Waiting on the outside of the pack was Crawford. His hair's got a bit darker. Wayne Campbell kicked it off the ground down toward the centre. Another kick off the ground lands with Ray Jenke. And the premiership player runs through the centre and drives down to a gloved player here on half forward for the Hawks. That Hudson. Might be young Paul Hudson. It was. Couldn't pick it up. Tigers are going to clear. Gale. That's Michael Gale. Got the hand pass working to Chrissy Bond. And back to Michael Gale was good play. And down the members' wing come Richmond here. Up towards centre half forward with the ball stumped away there by Cooper. Good play. In went Big Lawrence. He couldn't pick it up. Not his conditions, of course. Pritchard got it now. Worked it across to Shayne Stevenson. He's just behind centre. We'll be looking down to half forward for Minton-Connell. Ball thumped away. Following up nicely, there's Alex McDonald. Can he pick it up forward of wing? He can, but the kick's gone nowhere. In fact, it's wandered over the boundary line for a throw-in. And on the Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard after a minute, there's no score. In these conditions, if you're joining us late right at the start, one would reckon 9 or 10 goals might nearly be enough to secure a win. But let's just watch a little longer to see how the game pans out in these very, very wet conditions. It's on half forward flank for Hawthorn. Wigney goes in. Well tackled, though, maybe pushed by Hudson. Umpire disagreed, he let it go, and it's over the boundary line for a throw-in. Talking tactics today, Peter Daicos.
Well, a crucial point in this game will be the first 10 minutes of every quarter because they tend to, they start with a new ball every quarter, and it's a matter of using that new ball and the lighter ball, not waterlogged.
So throw in at half forward for Hawthorn. They work it back towards the wing, the Tigers. They're picked up by Brendan Gale. Kicks into half forward. Richardson was there, couldn't take the mark. He's good enough to get the ball. It's pushed away from him, though. A quick tap comes over the back to Cooper for the Hawks. He clears things back towards the wing with a left foot kick. It'll bounce up for Brendan Gale. Gale on the wing, steadies himself, lays it off by hand to Chris Bond, who runs into half forward and kicks low towards 50. But dropping back again, Cooper, but he dropped the mark. Quick hand pass goes close to the boundary line. McGuinness goes in hard for the ball for the Tigers. Ball still in dispute about 30 metres out from the Richmond goal. The Hawks should be able to work it away. Quick kick away. Mark Graham was very low towards centre-half back. Going in hard, Callaway. He's claimed. The Hawks attackers doing some good defensive work. Quick hand pass ineffectual from the Hawks. Going in hard there was number 18 for the Hawks. Number 18 in Pritchard. Quick kick out of the pack, goes back towards centre-half forward. Going in hard was Deere. Now a chance for Platten. Can he get it? He dives on top of the ball. Gee, it's tough and hard to get a clear possession. Stevenson comes up. Finally, the umpire, pays a free kick to John Platten.
Yes, the Brownlow medalist and Hawk Rover here at centre-half back. And the long hair already soaked as he drives toward the centre. Wheatoney actually outbodied his opponent there, did quite nicely. Holds it in the centre slush there. Knights goes in. Little kick off the ground, lands with Johnny Platten, playing in front of Chris Bond. Now he's just behind centre here for the Hawthorn side. Plays on now and gets the kick working out here toward the wing position. On the member side, pack rises. Tigers with numbers. The tackle was pretty crude on Michael Gale there by Jason Taylor. And Michael Gale is going to take the free here on members wing. No score after 3 minutes. One fancies there won't be a lot of scoring all day as Richardson leads up. The ball just dropped short. He couldn't take the mark. Graham goes in. He's dispossessed. Richardson takes it. And on the wing, almost a half forward, drives down toward the 50. Now, can anyone for the Tigers get it here? Naish goes in. Umpire letting it go. It feeds out. It's still right on 50. Richardson's there. Andy Collins on the outside. Steve Lawrence kicks off the ground. That was quite clever. And he's found Rayden Tellis with a nice short old haircut. Between centre-half back and the centre for the Hawks, who are kicking up to the city or the western end of Waverley Park. Drives to the centre now. It was a well-placed kick.
Beautiful.
And out comes Simon Minton-Connell to have one more possession here than he had in the entire game last week against Footscray. And he's be very happy to get that kick, I'd reckon. Down toward half forward it goes. Turner's got the job on Dunstall. Comes out with the champ. Thumps it away, and it's over the boundary line, 60 metres from the Hawthorn goal members' side.
Now, the first impressions of this game, that it'll be a long day for the crowd and us and the players, but actually this will be a very interesting battle to see how two sides handle shocking conditions and who doesn't try and over-finesse in a game where keep it simple, stupid will be the order of the day.
Boundary thrown at half forward for the Hawks. They work it out towards Crawford, who gets the hand pass to Platten, but under plenty of pressure from Burke. Gets some assistance from Rogers, who kicks it off the ground into the centre. But it's all Hawks. Graham takes the mark, dumps it off to Lawrence.
Exactly,
he goes by
like
hand
that.
to Jenke. Oh, it's spilt through his hands. A poor hand pass. Goes out wide. Cooper's got some support from McDonald. McDonald about 70 out from goal. Goes searching for Dunstall, but chopping it off was Greg Deere. He works it out wide. Got Tony free there, the skipper. He'll keep it low towards half back. Nash well up the ground, going in after it. It's close to the boundary line. The Tigers finding it tough. Matthew Knight's a quick hand pass, goes straight up and down. Gee, it's going to be hard to get clear possessions. A kick off the ground ends with Rogers, and the Tigers work it towards the wing position. Goes looking for Michael Gale. He gets onto the left boot, kicks into the centre of the ground. Charging through the centre for the Tigers is Broderick. He gets onto his left boot, goes into centre half forward. Richardson's on his own, and he takes the mark for the Tigers. He's still 50 out from goal. Looks up and has a look at his options, and his best option is to go long in towards the goal square. It bounces at the top of the goal square. Can it be kicked up the ground by Brendan Gale? It is! And the Tigers kick the first goal, the first score of the match. Richardson's kick went about 40 metres. It popped out the front of the goal square. Gale cleaning up. And the Tigers won straight 6. Hawthorn yet to score. We've played 6 minutes first quarter.
Well, we mentioned at the start of the game that Taylor would be playing at centre-half back. Well, he, in fact, for Hawthorn is playing at centre-half forward. And what a potentially lethal forward line in Dunstall, Hudson, Minton-Connell and Taylor. But first blood, if you like, as far as, well, first blood anyhow, to Richmond with a terrific goal by Benny Gale and a nice piece of direct play.
And Greg Deere won at the throw-up. Certainly can't ball it up in these conditions. If you've joined us late, it's just pouring rain here. Has been for an hour and a half. Kick off the ground takes the Hawks to half forward. And that was a nice bit of work by Minton-Connell as he drives down inside 50. Hudson on the gloves picks up. Hand passes to Jason Taylor. A good hand pass further afield. There's a chance for a running goal. And it's going to be Minton-Connell accepting and putting it right through the centre. That's a nice bounce back from last week, and a quick reply here from the Hawks. They're a goal each after 7 minutes on the Channel 7 tonight's scoreboard. 3AW Sunday Footy, and for Harry's Liquor Markets, Al Martello reporting on Brisbane and Sydney at the Gabba.
Fiery start up here. Brisbane lead 1 point. The Swans yet to score.
Sam Newman.
Well, now maybe Minton-Connell just needed these conditions, so he didn't have to do anything startling to show his skill, but just with his tense pressure on the ball, could ease himself into getting and being part of the action.
Once again, the umpire throws it up. Deer comes in from the side, gets the tap down. It goes right down into the puddle. Pretty hard to see anything in there. Rogers emerges with the ball, gets the hand pass out to Chris Bonds there, the umpire, having no choice but to ball it up. And I think we're going to see plenty of them today. No doubt about that. Plenty of throw-ups in the centre. Once again, Deer and Lawrence go at it. They push at each other. Deer it is, perhaps wins the tap down, goes further to the outer wing. Platten has a chance. Right there, Chris Bond, who's going to be on him today, and he's right over him. Once again, the player's trying to force it forward, but it's just impossible to pick it up cleanly, and we'll have another throw-up out on that outer wing position. So we've played nearly 8 minutes in the first quarter. Scores level, 1 goal apiece. And we've got a throw-up on that outer wing here at Waverley, a very damp and wet Waverley Park. Lawrence's second effort, spikes it forward for the Hawks, goes to half forward, but Tiger defence through Michael Gale should be able to clear, pulls it out of the pack, a couple of short steps, kicks in towards half forward, over his brother's head, Brendan, flying high was Chris Nace, ball at ground level, could have been a high tackle on Chris Bond, and the umpire picked it out. So Bond it is who'll go back and take that kick about true centre half forward position, goes looking for Richardson, but Collins fills the hole and takes the mark for the Hawks.
It was well done, Andy Collins. Experienced there. He knew exactly what his opponent was going to do. And he's gone wide to Cooper, who's got very strong hamstring pads on there. 5 pads, in fact, as he kicks now down toward the attacking 50. David Burke comes out, kicks off the ground, follows up, tries to pick up, but very hard picking up the wet ball and just overran it. And it went over the boundary line for a throw-in. Al Martello at the Gabba for Harry's Liquor Markets.
Scores 1 point each, the Swans and the Bears.
Perfect conditions up there, Al?
Yes, yeah, overcast but humid and hot.
At the throw-in, Greg Deer taps down and makes about 10 metres for his side. Tactics-wise, Daicos, noticed anything from either coach?
Well, it's just man on man, really, and the key is going to be, no doubt, numbers, but some of the matchups, Raiden Tallis has Knights, a big key for Richmond, Platten on Bond, Callaway on Crawford, who's been a very good player for Hawthorn, Turner and Dunstall.
Thanks, Daicos. As Lawrence won that one, the tap down was good, but there's just no way that anyone's going to emerge from about 10 or 12 players surrounding the footy. So a goal each after 10 minutes. Channel 7 tonight's scoreboard.
And Langford, the ex-captain, playing right up on the wing, following Benny Gale up there, not playing at full back, Langford. In fact, McGuinness is playing at full back.
Dia's tap to Bond was terrific. Tried to give it to Campbell, and he tried to jump through Jenke. Good umpiring. There was no way Wayne Campbell was going to emerge with that footy, wearing the long sleeves today. Jenke's tackle was terrific. And a little bit of byplay between the two of them. Campbell hoping maybe it will be taken off Ray Jenke, but that's not going to happen. And Jenke, right foot torpedo, gets a good bit of distance here. Up toward the attacking 50. Waiting down there was Tony Free. Playing off half back again. Chips to an unmarked Rogers. Right in the centre of Waverley Park. They're running a little bit better early, Richmond, perhaps, as Michael Gale makes good ground down the members' wing, and he's got Richardson all on his own. And Matthew Richardson is marked, and you'd nearly say he's a chance. He bombed his first one 50 metres, and he's just inside 50 here. He had an option of going short. It might have been Wigney lurking in there all the way down from half back. He ignored that. His kick's actually gone right up next to the point post. Just didn't quite make the distance. Pack of players develops there. Daffy's got it. Hemmed in on the boundary. Kicks looking for, almost finding Chrissy Bond. Jenke tackled without it, I thought. Umpire agreed. And Ray Jenke, just 20 metres from the Tiger goals, is going to take the free. Bondi for Ford Care. Jenke picking up a few early stats.
Yes, coming in for his third possession. Matthew Richardson doing well also with 3 for the Tigers.
Well, the kick came across to Pritchard, who had an attack of the fumbles, and you can't blame him for that, but he recovers well, some good salvaging work. He kicks out to the wing, though, after a bounce, and straight into the arms of Michael Gale, who's been busy so far for the Tigers. Centering kick, watch out. Here comes Tallis, chops it off well. Burke gets a shove. Tallis after the footy and does well. Shoves it out. Once again, Burke going in hard. Once again, though, it's just so difficult for anybody to get anything... any system going in those packs, and we'll have a bounce.
Wasn't the greatest of options there from Gale, Sam Newman.
No, Shane, but he was involved in a marvellous piece of play earlier by kicking that ball down to Richardson. Real dry weather football, and if that's a thing to come from Richmond, well, heaven help the Hawks.
And from the throw up, it kicked forward by Platten. Tape went in there, but his kick was smothered. The umpires picked a free out of all that, and it's going to go to McDonald, or Hudson, in fact, I think. It is who'll get the free. He's at centre half forward, and he's kicking down long. As Bondi said, no breeze, but plenty of rain. The kick from Hudson is very low, and Burke fills into the space back there and takes the chest mark. Even the chest marks can't be taken for granted today, though. The kick from Burke from the back pocket out towards the wing He had probably a couple of targets then. One was Tony Frere, the other was the boundary line, and it's the boundary that he found.
And for Harry's Liquor Markets, Al Martello covering the game at the Gabba, Bears and the Swans.
Well, McIver's kicked the first goal for the Bears. They lead 1-1-7 to the Swans, 1 point.
Any interesting positional moves there?
Well, they've got Luff has been picked up by Champion and Ruse has been picked up by Lepage.
A kick off the ground at the throw-in against the Tigers. The kicker was Benny Gale, but it went out of bounds on the full. And Steve Lawrence is going to take this free kick right in front of the 3AW sign out there on the outer wing position, right next to the Coca-Cola sign for those listening at the ground. And Lawrence finesses around Gale, quite cleverly done, and then a horrible right footer. And Kellaway, a terrific mark in these conditions. Running with the flight of the footy, the Tiger number 3 plays on. Kicks on left foot, down toward the centre of the ground. Collins is spoiled from the back, was terrific. Richmond tries to push it on. Michael Gale having a terrific first quarter. Got a shove in the back, will get the free kick and immediately look down here for Richardson. Drops shorter of that player and Daffy chips in to take the mark. They've got a terrific open forward line. Edwards' lead was good. And Richardson wants it quickly to the square. Edwards is on 50. He's a big booming kick and he's just missed it. They look good when they move it into attack in their own 50 there, Sam Newman, the Tigers.
Well, they do indeed, and Daffy to Edwards was terrific play, equally as good as when Michael kicked it to Richardson. So Hawthorn have got to realise right now that they're quite capable of playing some very skillful football. Richmond, even in this early stage in these atrocious conditions, they've got to man up vehemently when it gets down to their forward line.
A loud clap of thunder comes over Waverley as the kick from McGuinness goes out the half-back. Seeing it safely across the line was Pritchard with a little dribble off the ground. It really skids and goes across for a throw-in. So 1-1-7 the Tigers, 1 straight goal, 6 the Hawks at the moment. Early stages of this game. It's going to be a long, tough afternoon for the players. Ball at half forward for the Tigers, out of side. Gale in ruck with Langford. Langford perhaps won the tap. It goes to Campbell wearing the long sleeves today for the Tigers. He concedes ground, looking for Nation some assistance, but he's quickly charged down by Platten, who emerges from the pack. He's then grabbed by Knights and wins the free kick, and I didn't agree with it. And now it's 50 metres as it's kicked away, so a scoring chance coming up for the Hawks.
Well, now here we're not umpire bashing, Shane, and now this is interesting. Player down behind play, and
could be reversed, perhaps.
Might be reversed.
No, it's going back to where I think. Yes, it is going to be a free. No, it's going to Platten still, and
well, Platten went to get rid of that ball, kicked it, and in fact it fumbled out of his hands, and the player was in the process of pulling him to the ground and was judged to be holding the man, which I thought was a wrong decision.
Anyway, Platten's kick goes to centre half forward, but the Tiger defence is strong, and Tony Frere it is who grabs it and kicks it straight back from whence it came. It's out of bounds.
Just Sam, back to that decision. I've got a feeling the umpire actually had given a 50 and might have only reversed the 50 rather than taking off Platten, because he was on his way down to give a 50, and then all of a sudden Platten had to kick from...
Didn't give him the double penalty.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. Anyway, there's a free kick now to the Hawks, and it's Paul Hudson. He's on attacking 50. And he's a good kick, but he won't make the distance. He'll go close, though. It's floated into the square. Look out for Dunstall! He's marked it. He beat Scott Turner one-on-one just outside the goal square. Peter Daicos, it was a terrific grab.
Well, it was a terrific use of the body. He kept about 5 metres of clear space in front of him where the ball was going to land. He was 5 metres back, and he was just able to keep Turner out of the contest, and at the last minute dive and mark that ball. And typical Jason Dunstall mark.
Spot on, Peter. We'll wait for you to tell us what happened, Shane.
Well, at 20 metres out, the champs don't miss those even in these conditions. And on the Channel 7 tonight's scoreboard, it's Hawthorn 2 goals and Richmond 1-1, 16 minutes first quarter. Sam.
And that is absolutely right. He kept his opponent away from the ball, and then when he wanted to, went to accept it. And we see that time and time again, and I was critical yesterday when I said, remember a player, I can't remember who it was, held, I think it was Ilya Grikic, held his opponent back from the ball, and the guy trying to get to the ball was penalised for in the back, and that's just play on. If someone stops you going for the ball, you're allowed to push him in the back.
Terrific play by Dunstall. Worked on his strength.
So the Richmond bogey man looms again. That's Jason Dunstall. Centre bounce. The Hawks going forward again. Punched out of the centre by Lawrence. They work at the centre half forward. Minton-Connell has been busy early. Hand passes straight up in the air. Clever tap on from Taylor. But the Tigers' defence go in there hard. Bond kicked it off the ground, but the umpire has seen something that I didn't see, and that's a free to Hudson. Bit of holding on off the pack. Did you see it, Daicos?
Well, he was being held, but The biggest difference between the two sides, I believe, is Richmond have just been trying to get the short handball in the pack situation and have not been getting a kick in a pressure situation, whereas Hawthorn have just been kicking off the ground, knocking it forward and just plain getting it forward.
So Hudson kicks from about 45 metres. It'll make the distance and it makes the accuracy as well. So Hudson caps off a good bit of play from the Hawks. 3 straight 18. Richmond 117 on the Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard. We've played 7.5 minutes.
Well, I wouldn't say Richmond would have anything to worry about because a couple of those goals have been through unusual decisions, not wrong decisions, but maybe decisions that could have gone either way, and the momentum's gone Hawthorn's way. But I've been impressed with the way Richmond have played so far, and although a couple of goals in these conditions is worth about 6, but it'll be interesting to see them bounce back here.
Okay, so 1-1 to 3 goals. Hawks by 11 points. 18 minutes, first quarter. Deer a nice tap down. In goes Stevenson. Another nice kick off the ground by the Hawks. Just works them forward of the centre. They're getting their bodies in. Minton-Connell ahead of Wigney. Look at Platt and work it out of the pack. Great work, but straight to Knights, which didn't help much. He kicks down toward half forward. Through comes Stevenson. Ran into a brick wall. Tigers have got it, but I think there's a free kick to the Hawks again. So what are the free kick stats here, Bondi?
Richmond have got 3 free kicks and Hawthorn coming in for their 8th.
Yeah, I felt it was going Hawthorn's way as Stevenson now. Chips across to an unmarked Cooper right in the centre. He drives down looking for Hudson. Ball thumped away. Kellaway down. Beaten forward by Crawford, who hand passes inside but poorly. Wayne Campbell took it there for the Tigers. He drove down the wing to a Rogers-Jenky battle. Jenky's done well. Rogers tries to harass him out of it. It's on that far wing. Umpire will go for a ball up, one fancies. Tigers emerge with the ball low. No, Naish has got it. Uses his foot speed. Runs to half forward flank, way out near the boundary. Tries to centre it back to Benny Gale. Great thump away Langford. Gale still tries to parry it on. At 70 from Richmond's goal. Benny Gale emerges with a footy. Richardson just didn't bounce for him. He might have been on his way. Played for a free kick, but didn't come. And Hawthorn have saved a goal. McGuinness and Collins did terrifically there. If Richardson could have got the tap on, it would have been a Richmond goal. So they work it back toward the centre, the Hawks. There's a Tiger player who's got a high tackle there. And it may be Tape. Just check that for you. Yes, it is. He's forward of the wing. Looks down now to attacking 50. Good lead, Richardson. He's giving McGuinness the runaround for the most part. Thought about playing on. He's 70 from goal out near the boundary. And a chance now to sink this right down in the Edwards and Gale direction.
Well, in fact, I'd say that Graeme has been moved off Richardson.
So let's come back to that, Sammy, as Richardson now drives down, hoping for a mark here from Broderick. It falls here for Daffy. 30 out. Right foot snap is just offline. And it's 1-2-8 the Tigers. Hawks 3 goals. 20 minutes first quarter. Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard.
He's been a bit loose. We're not, are we? We're in delay. Well, that's great, Shayne. Get a bet on and you have 7 seconds to change your mind by the time the bell's rung.
Yes, and Al Martello has been bumping too many buttons. Give us a score there at the Gabba, old son.
Can't help it, Shane. I'm not that way inclined. Brisbane are leading by 13 points. Brisbane 3-2-20. The Swans 1-1-7.
Hello.
And as they come back, the Tigers again deep in attack. Quick kick away from Collins, goes back towards half-back. Oh, it's a tough contest there. Tallis punches it further afield, but it goes to Greg Deer, who tumbles the punt back in towards the danger zone. And one of those danger players is Naish. Can't take the mark, gets the hand pass back, looking for support, but it's all Hawks. Crawford emerges with the ball, kicks up towards the wing position. It'll hit the turf and land in the puddle. Coming back is Deer, who's been a good player for the Tigers. Slaps it away to Tape. Tape measures the kick up towards half forward, and a good kick, and Kellaway marked, and don't tell me that's 50.
Anthony, that is sensational. Tape measures the kick. That is probably an all-time classic. I love it. Tape measures the kick.
As a result, a 50-metre penalty. What did you think of the 50, Sam?
Well, I was too bamboozled with that magnificent play on word. Shayne, Tape measures the kick.
Yes,
I was chortling and that and missed the 50. Peter was watching it, though.
We're all sitting here stunned.
Well, really, the 50 was paid, no doubt, for the play coming in too late. But do we consider the conditions?
Kellaway kicks from about 10 metres out. Don't tell me he's missed it. He couldn't have missed it from there. He did. He missed it. He was not much more than 10 metres out. As good as directly in front. Even had the help of a 50-metre penalty. He missed it.
Now you know why he plays on the back line.
Hawthorn 3 straight 18. Richmond 1-3-9. Played 22 minutes, and here's Shayne Healy.
Okay, so that was just an unbelievable miss. Al Martello, back to you quickly. Any trends there early at the Gabba for Harry's Liquor Markets? It could be a ball up.
Brisbane's got the using the wind, but they've done very well up in their forward line. They've fought it out, but Swans are doing well. Bays has kicked their only 2 goals, just got another one then.
I'll come back to you because the fullback took too long to kick out. He's taken it off him, and now there's a ball up on the edge of the Tiger goal square. And Collins tries to work it into the back pocket. Here come the Hawks. They've got numbers there, and it's Pritchard on the left foot, but out on the full, Sam Newman.
I don't know that he did take too long, Graeme. I think
he went over the line.
I mean, fair dinkum. They're doing it in millimetres, they're doing it in millimetres. Now, he ran over the line to kick it to himself, I think.
Okay, I saw the umpire go up, and I saw him remonstrating, so I thought it may have been the time rule, but I'll bow to your...
No, well,
he ran over the line and...
Yep, thanks, Bondy.
Then kicked it to himself.
Okay, so now we've got a free kick to Richmond. Campbell, he won't try and shoot from the boundary, and chips inboard. Wigney, a bit a la Peter Dean, is working his way down into the forward line, playing off a back line role, and we know he can kick goals. He's played in the forward line for a couple of other clubs, one of those Sydney, and Stuart Wigney is 50 metres from goal, to paint the picture here under very ordinary skies.
Get it halfway.
He's not a bad kicker. Now look, a few players have been kicking at 50. Hudson, Richardson, he's kicked it to the teeth of goal, where Lawrence comes out and takes a very good mark for Hawthorn.
So Lawrence for the Hawks in the last line of defence, transfers play with a short kick, but the umpire is making him bring it back because he didn't kick over the mark. He found Graeme on the chest in the back pocket, but that's all academic. 3 straight 18, the Hawks. And the Tigers, who have probably had more possessions, we'll get Bondy to check that in a moment, are 1-3-9. So a 9-point lead. This time Lawrence decides to go to the outer side. It's a short distance kick, doesn't cover much ground. Gale, if the Brendan variety, goes in hard, gets the hand pass out, searching through the pack is Bond, who fires away at goal, into the goal square. Richardson back there, couldn't hold the mark. It's hit the post. Edwards it was, in fact. And so another behind to the Tigers. 1-4-10 on the Today Tonight scoreboard. Hawthorn 3 straight 18.
And for Harry's, here's Al Martello with an update from the Gabba.
Well, Bayes has kicked the 3 goals for the Swans, but they still trail by 1 point. Brisbane 3-2-20, the Swans 3-1-19.
It was a searching kick out, which Langford from centre half back tried to push on further. Kellaway building up some stats, got a high tackle, all thrown back poorly, but no 50. Free kick to Kellaway, 70 from goal. Drives down, hoping for a forward to take a grab. Tape was there. Maxfield, Campbell now, danger, as he hand passes on here to Richardson. 25 from goal. Edwards. Oh, he dropped the mark at the front of the square. Can the Tigers do something here? Naish on hands and knees, tackle. Platten emerges with a footy. He's tackled. Taking a long time to get rid of it. Daffy goes in. Kick off the ground, lands with Crawford. And now the Hawks will clear. Out here to Members wing. And it's a Hawthorn mark to be taken here for them by Scott Crowe. David Burke has the job on him. Gee, they've had them chances within 20 of goal, the Tigers, but haven't been able to put the score on the board. Crowe's kick was poor. Benny Gale takes it for Richmond, has it run down by Pritchard. Now the Hawks can attack, and attack they will. Long kick Pritchard, down here toward attacking 50. Chance for Minton-Connell, who's got away here from Wigney. Can't pick up the slippery ball though, and it rolls over for a throw in. 50 metres from the Hawthorn goal now. Members side, 25 minutes first quarter. And the Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard in a surprisingly good quality game here for the conditions. Hawthorn 3 straight 18, Richmond 1-4-10.
Gee, it's hard to win a clear possession. We're going to throw it at half forward. Tap down towards Crawford. Emerging though is Kellaway for the Tigers. Got it back to Tape, who dummies the hand pass and gets around Stevenson. That was very clever for a wet weather. Not so clever though the kick, marked by Lawrence on his chest after a bit of a bounce off the chest there. Nothing safe today. Goes short from the wing to half forward. Langford has drifted down from defence. He's better watch out. He shrugs off the tackle from Gale, but then loses it. It just slipped out of his hands, and the Tigers work it across the line. Broderick just kicked it off the ground and it's out of bounds.
Back to the Gabba for Harry's liquor markets, Al Martello.
And Brisbane are leading by 3 points, 3-4-22. The Swans 3-1-19. The Starcevic lining up.
And while Tape measures his kick, Gale blows his chance down on the forward line in a previous passage of play, and Langford had a clear Hawthorn teammate down here whose name escapes me. Can't quite think of his name. Was it Minton-Connell?
Yes.
And took just a fraction long and was caught in the end, but they were right on their way to goal.
Now the rain continues to team down at 26 minutes first quarter. And Greg Deere actually got that tap down. Hasn't played a bad first quarter. Was taken though by Crawford, tackled by Kellaway. Little kick off the ground by, I think, a fairly quiet Matty Knight's, Bondy, and it's over for a throw in.
Yes, Matty Knight's fairly quiet. Shayne has only had the 1 kick so far.
And who are a couple of the other good Tiger stats getters?
Michael Gale's had 7 and Benny Gale's had 5 and 4 to Matthew Richardson.
At the throw in, a free kick going Richmond's way for some shepherding. Oh, how'd you read that, Sammy, as you took a bit of your 8-2-0?
Not a good decision that, Shane, no. If the ball was thrown in very short and they're both vying for it.
Left foot torpedo, actually, that one. And from the Hawthorn defence, there's a kick off the ground that lands with Broderick. Not 10, said the umpire. Play on. So Bond parries it out to Naish, who kicks up to attacking 50. No one can take the mark. Through comes Cooper, has the kick smothered. They're desperate in attack, Richmond. Benny Gale gets it across to Campbell. 70 from goal. Sets up Bond. He's 60 from goal. Left footer down there now. Edwards is up. Just couldn't take the mark. Who's down? Hawthorn's worked it away well, but this time there's plenty of Tiger numbers. Naish has got the show. High tackle. Free kick, Naish.
I agree with that.
He's 25 out. He's directly in front. We saw Kellaway miss one from closer in than this in this quarter. But Naish is a goal kicker, and he'd be very short in the betting to put this through.
No doubt about that. Right round the neck, making the ball the object, and of course if you make the ball the object, the people tackling have to decide in a split second where to grab you and how. And of course that's a correct decision, so interesting to see what he does with this Mr. Naish.
And I think he's missed it. And that's disgraceful. John Northey will be just infuriated at quarter time. Bondy, had I mentioned about the overall stats? I know you can't add them up in one hit there, but are we right in our feeling that Richmond is maybe on top in possession?
Just a touch ahead, Shane, but not by a greater margin.
Oh, okay. So 3 goals to 1-5, 7 points to the Hawks.
Now, I don't want to be critical of you, Shane, but these are very tough conditions to actually hold the ball in your hand and have it drop onto your foot in the correct manner and then have it come off the leather of your boot and go straight is very tough.
Fair enough.
Platten coming off with the blood rule, I think, and going onto the ground is McCabe, the youngster for the Hawks, but waiting on McGuinness to bring it back into play, and he's going to go, in fact it's Graeme, he's going to go to the outer side. This kick not as good as the last one, drops a little bit short, spills to the back of the pack and covers plenty of ground. It's a race on out there, kicked off the ground by McDonald, works it further along that wing, and in the end it goes out of bounds, and it's between wing and half forward, and the Hawks pretty good out of that kick in.
Something you don't see too often, the emergency field umpire having a warm-up down here in his blue dressing gown. Al Martello for Harry's Liquor Markets. An update from the Gabba.
And big Roger Merritt lining up for his second goal from about 5 metres on a very acute angle, but the Bears are leading by 4 points, 3-5-23 to the Swan 3-1-19.
Out here at Waverley, ball in dispute on the wing as it has been for much of this quarter. It's really tough and wet in there. They just pile in on top of it. They come from everywhere, and we're going to have that happen plenty of times during the day as the players coming from both defence and attack, doesn't matter where they're playing on the ground, just following the ball around. The ball on the true wing position at the moment. Umpire throwing it up. Deere works his way to the front as the siren sounds for quarter time. And we find the Hawks in front on the Channel 7 Today Tonight scoreboard. 3 straight 18. And that's straight kicking, certainly a benefit.
Slippery wet ball later in that quarter.
Okay, well, it starts again, and Greg Deere goes up. He can't get a clear position, but Wayne Campbell can. Up toward half forward for the Tigers. Chance for Naish. Got a little shove. No free kick. Rogers tries to parry it further forward. McGuinness of Hawthorn kicks off the ground, but backwards. Tigers direction, 20 metres. It's inside their 50 now. Collins kicks off the ground. It goes further toward Richmond's goal. Now Matty Richardson tries to kick it off the ground. In the end, it's shoved over the boundary line deliberately, but in these conditions, you're not going to play that surely, and he won't. And after 30 seconds of the second quarter, the Tigers just desperately working it forward with the help of a couple of Hawks there at the throw-in. 30 metres from Richmond's goal. Benny Gale taps down. Maxfield kicks to the front of the goal square. Edwards working hard. Tries to pick it up. Falls over. Out comes Andy Collins. Kicks but not well. Oh, nearly a mark there to big Benny Gale. He spilt it. Hand passes cleverly. Chance for his brother Michael on left foot, and he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. So Richmond making most of the play. Noticed any tactical changes for the second quarter, Peter Daicos?
Not really. Benny Gale, virtually a lot of the players are in positions they started in, but Benny Gale been a very good player for Richmond.
Well, the kick-in goes out to half back for Hawthorn or half forward for Richmond, and once again it's pushed across the line for a throw-in about 60 metres around from the Tigers' goal. They'll certainly, with as Daicos said, while the ball's dry, be looking to make the most of the ball being in attack. Let's have a look at this throw-in. Deere beaten for it, in fact, Gale, it was Brendan Gale who came over and slapped it back over the line and out of bounds as the binoculars fogging up in these magnificent conditions out here at Waverley. It's pouring down. Lawrence and Diego at it again at half forward for the Tigers. Over the back came Lawrence, got the tap down. Naish's kick was smothered. Going in hard is Michael Gale. Now Knights comes through the pack. He's on hands and knees. He parries it out. It's kicked away by Tallis back towards the wing position for the Hawks. Going in hard is Holland. Kicks it off the ground. Further afield it goes close to the boundary line. Under plenty of pressure from Wigney, they slide along the ground. I think both players thought it was going to go out of bounds, and eventually it did.
Well, there's a mistake by Matthew Knights. The ball was on Richmond's half-forward line, and he dived on the ball and knocked it beneath his legs, going Hawthorn's way. Now we find the ball in Hawthorn's attack.
So Holland tapped it down to young Nick McCabe, who we haven't seen much of as yet. He can't get a clear position. There's a clever kick off the ground by Pritchard of Hawthorn. Down toward half-forward, taken by Wigney, kicks back from whence it came, hoping for Bond or Maxfield, but it's wobbled over again on the outer wing for a throw-in.
And we're not being critical here, just observing, but Benny Gale would be far better advised if he's going to get a boundary thrown to actually palm it back over his head so it opens up the goal-scoring area rather than keeping it down on the boundary.
So Lawrence got in front of Greg Deere at that throw-in and did quite nicely. It really does look like a rugby scrum just there at the moment. There's a whole lot of players just surrounding the footy. Bond emerges with it. Doing pretty well. Hand pass to Matty Knights. His left footer. Down to where McGuinness actually outbodied Benny Gale. They did really well and got it down for where Cooper is able to kick back to that outer wing again. Through burst Wigney. Tackle without it, surely umpire. No, he disagreed and Crow took it for Hawthorn. I thought that was very strange umpiring. Down toward half forward comes the footy. A chance for McCabe to kick off the ground. Couldn't get a foot to it because those Tiger defenders are really working hard. Look at Knights now remonstrating at that decision a moment ago that didn't go Wigney's way. And we've got a ball up. Centre half forward here for Hawthorn now. They're in front by 7 points for Hawks early in the second quarter as Holland palms down. It's Crawford and Michael Gale going at it. Look at Chrissy Bond working and hand passing to Kellaway. He leaves it go for Knights, perhaps fortuitously. Knights hand passes wider rather than kicking. One wonders why. They're still handballing Richmond. Now Kellaway gives it a kick. Down toward half forward. Cooper's got the size against Naish. Ball hits the ground. A kick off the ground now by McGuinness. Then another one by Maxfield. Down to the forward pocket. Edwards kicks off the ground. It's in the goal square. Now can Richardson kick off the ground? Oh, he missed it. He went for the big soccer and he missed it completely. And it's a point to Richmond. Well, look, I think he made the right decision having a stab at it, Sam.
Well, actually, I tend to disagree with that. Shayne, I reckon he could have easily picked that up. But look, once again, we're not being critical of the players today because it's so very difficult. But I thought he had ample time to actually try and scoop that up. And I'm enjoying this game.
It's a good
battle. I know that will make a lot of people wonder why you'd enjoy a game like this, but it's a real battle of trying to work out how to play the conditions.
Well, Graham kicks in, but the Tigers work it back to full forward. Edwards a chance in that marking contest. And suddenly it's kicked off the ground to the danger zone again. But the Hawks get back there through McGuinness. Oh, he has trouble picking it up. He runs the gauntlet across full back, kicks up towards the wing position. It bounces in front of Crawford, who very sure hands, and finds Platten. I don't know if he meant to or not, but he hit him on the chest. And Platten takes the chest mark, defensive side of the wing. Kicks up towards half forward. Minton-Connell makes the lead and tumbles into the mark.
That was a good grab, Hutto.
It was indeed. Now he's on the attacking side of the wing. Minton-Connell, he keeps it close to the boundary. Hudson, the target, sliding in. He wasn't quite able to get to it. It bounced in front of him, and the Tiger defence helped it over the line.
Let's see if there's any change in the score at the Gabba. They should be early in the second quarter perhaps now. And here's Al Martello for Harry's Liquor Markets.
Quarter time, Shayne, and Brisbane lead by 19 points, 5-8-38 to the Swans, 3-1-19.
Thanks indeed, Al, at the throw-in. On half forward for the Hawks as Sam has a coughing fit there. Looks like the Mount Franklin went down the wrong way there, Sammy. You idiot. And it's wandered over the boundary line for a throw-in, H2O, I should say. And it's about, well, let's just paint the picture here as the rain continues to pour down. It's forward of wing for Hawthorn, but perhaps not quite up to the half-forward flank. We're relaying around Australia. Welcome to 5AA listeners in Adelaide. 6PR in Perth as Crawford makes a marvellous pick-up, and then Langford innovates and kicks off the ground cleverly. Down here toward the young Shayne Stevenson. Down to attacking 50 where Hudson's got problems, but with the gloves did that nicely. Worked his opponent away, Tony Free, and gave it to Holland, who chipped short but badly. And Michael Gale comes across and takes the saving mark for the Tigers in the back pocket. They've worked their way to a goal down by a long succession of points as that kick by Michael Gale is touched off hands. The toucher was Pritchard, and in the end it wobbles over the boundary line on Hawthorn's attacking 50 with the home hardware scoreboard here. 6 minutes into the second quarter. Hawthorn 3 straight, 18. You wouldn't believe they could kick that way in these conditions. Richmond had much more of the play on their own forward line, but they're down 1 goal, 6-12 the Tigers.
The rain continues to tumble down. The ball at half forward thrown in. Tap down came from Deer, but Crawford got it, dug it out to Stevenson, close to the boundary line. He sprues it in. In front is Hudson down there. Could he take the mark? No, he couldn't. It hits the ground. Diving in hard was the Tiger defence, and Turner happy to see it out of bounds in the pocket.
Well, I know this is an obvious thing to say, but I mean, they've had only 3 shots at goal, Hawthorn, and luckily have kicked truly 7 shots by Richmond. I mean, they've had far more of the play.
Maybe another one now. Thrown in the forward pocket. Minton-Connell did the ruck work. McDonald gets swamped as he got it, and swamped it certainly is, because plenty of rain has just come down constantly since, well, 12:30 or so today. It's a very, very wet scene. Throw up 30 metres out from the Hawks' goal, right in front of their goal. Tap down comes to Burke, who will look for the boundary line. Gee, that was deliberate. I reckon it was, but it's certainly not paid. It's
a lovely piece of play, sorry, Anthony. Lovely piece of play by Greg Deer, just pushing the ball over to the boundary. When you get it up to the centre line, then you can start to work it over the back of the pack, but on the back line, just keep it down in front.
Minton-Connell and Deer again, still 40 metres around from a Hawk goal. Tap down to the front, they arrive en masse. Going in hard, Callaway gets it out to Bond. He gets the kick out to about 60 out from the Hawks goal. Gale goes in hard. Good shepherding work from Hudson allows the Hawthorn player in Pritchard to work it across once again for another throw-in.
Peter Daicos.
Well, they're doing the right things, as you mentioned, Sam. I mean, both sides doing the right things. But what I like about Hawthorn's play at the moment is they're getting it forward and they're playing in front.
So it's about 60 metres around here from Hawthorn's goal. Hack develops at the throw-in. I thought Wayne Campbell might have been tackled without a fair, but the umpire didn't notice. Or wasn't prepared to give the kick, and we're going to have a ball up. 60 metres from the Hawk goals. Members side half forward flank. Hawthorn down to the Dandenong Ranges or eastern end of the ground, and Deer palms to the safety of the boundary line where Bond is tackled by Platten, and it parries over the boundary line again. Well, these conditions suit Platten. We've seen him play some magnificent games in wet weather. How's he going on the stat sheet, Bondy? We know he was off for a little while with the blood rule in the first quarter.
Well, for forward care, Shane, Johnny Platten, 5 kicks, and he's taken 2 marks in these conditions, probably more marks than he would normally take in any game.
Yeah, and his opponent, Chrissy Bond, I feel, is going okay.
Chrissy Bond's had 6 kicks and 3 handball.
And Pack develops again at the throw-in, and we're going to have another ball up. Repeating at the Gabba, Brisbane 5-8-38 at quarter time. Sydney Lockett-less. He didn't play after all the wondering. Sydney 3-1-19, so a lead there of 19 points to the Bears on their home ground at the Gabba, going to make it 2 out of 3 at the throw-up. And they're enormous throw-ups there that the umpire's giving. And we're going to have a shepherding free kicker, I fancy, against Lawrence.
No, well, actually, they've swapped Lawrence now. He's down here
was
at...
it Holland, was it?
Centre half forward, and I think Holland's doing the work in the ruck now.
Langford's loose man in the back, in the defence. Have a look at Richmond's forward line. No one inside the 50.
You're right, Daicos. It's, 8 players. Remember Ron Barassi's great way of counting how many players?
That's right. He counted how many weren't in the square, then deducted
subtracted, them. That's right. On the wing, Barassa's got more worries up there as he tries to get Sydney home to a win. Good tap down, Benny Gale. Wayne Campbell couldn't get a clear kick. He's got his body at the bottom. The umpire letting it go. Platten dives in. I don't think anyone's going to get out of here with the footy, and again we're going to go for a ball up. It's just one of those days, folks, where you're going to have to persist with us as we try and persist with the footy. It's a good even battle, as Sammy commented. The skills have been pretty good considering it's very, very wet here at Waverley on Easter Sunday as Gale thumps it a good 20 metres. Can Bond run onto the ball and keep it in? He did well and tapped it forward of the wing now for Richmond. In goes Platten. He's perhaps tackled unfairly by Big Richardson. Campbell's got it. Tackled without the footy, but the umpire not paying the ticky touch with ones, and that's good umpiring. Bondy has the stat sheet looking for forward care.
Well, doing very well for Hawthorn also, Shayne is Stevenson. He's picked up 6 kicks, and Cooper's got 5, but for Richmond, Michael Gale's the top possession getter. 9 kicks to Michael Gale for the Tigers.
Gee, it's almost like rugby or American gridiron as each side tries to just gain some ground. That time a kicked out of the pack, an errant kick out of the pack by the Hawks, out of bounds on the full, and Matthew Knights will have the free on the wing. Knights goes off the left, but searching for Richardson at half forward. Lawrence got in the road and juggled a very fine mark.
Terrific mark.
You won't find many overhead marks today, but that was one of them from Lawrence. And he kicks from half back towards the wing position. Deer in position to mark. Couldn't get full grasp on it. Got some support though. Wigney and Knights will help him out. Knights goes for a penetrating kick in towards centre half forward. Richardson gets it capped too high. Gale it was. Umpire has paid the free. It's been kicked forward off the ground by Richardson. Through for a goal. Will he pay the advantage?
No, he won't.
No, he won't. It'll have to come back to Brendan
Well,
Gale.
there you go. Richmond have been able to kick the ball in long, and Matthew Knights in the past minute has been able to pick up a couple of possessions, but more importantly, drive the ball in long.
Now, there'll be plenty of argument about why the umpire wouldn't allow that as an advantage, but in fairness to the umpire, I think he had called definitely for a stop of play, wasn't even looking at where the ball had rolled to, and I think someone just came in and kicked it off the ground while he was telling Gale what the free kick was for and his opponent why he gave it against him.
And it was, I reckon, Hutto, it was a 40-metre kick off the ground that went through.
Terrific kick. But more importantly now, Gale's about 55 metres out from goal, perhaps a little closer to 50 as he kicks it. It'll certainly test him. Let's watch Gale's kick. Comes in. It's going to land up there in the goal square. Big pack goes up. The ground level Tallis got some help from Holland, works it out to Jinky. Their one aim there for the Hawks was to get it through the behinds, and they succeeded in the end. So Richmond now go to 1-7-13, Hawthorn 3 straight 18.
Well, I like the ploy of pushing everyone up the ground because it means players have to run back onto the ball. If they miss it, it's still running their way. If they're in position, standing there waiting for the ball to hit them, they're killing off the ball and leaving it on their half-forward line. So,
and at the kick-in, chance here for Crawford to go in for Hawthorn. It's on Richmond's attacking 50, all up. Big L for Harry's Liquor Markets. Are they playing again at the Gabby yet?
About 5 minutes into this second quarter, Shayne, and Brisbane still lead by 19 points, 5-9-39. They're missing a lot of shots to the Swans 3-2-20, but the Swans have got the breeze this quarter.
Okay, let's see if Sydney can work back as Nace takes the ball inside 50. Here's a go. A great hand pass to Gale. He's decided to chip across. And now can Rogers make something of this? In goes big Richardson. Can't take it with him. Again, it goes out toward attacking 50 as the Hawks try and work it away. Knight's on the end of a handball. Had nowhere to go. Kellaway goes in. Richmond owning possession very much up there, but just can't get a clear kick. Now, Michael Gale, Sam, was running into goal from near the boundary. Should he have had a shot, or was the centering idea the better one, do you think?
Well, I think perhaps kick it into the centre, Shane, because it's very hard to kick in dry conditions a goal on an angle, but I think your percentages are increased if you kick it into the middle and give someone a chance to boot it off the ground at least.
Tallis works it away for the Hawks from outside defensive 50, but looks for Minton-Connell, can only find Wigney, and he's chipped across and found Jamie Tape, I fancy. Now, he's forward of centre. Decides to kick short, which I wonder about that option. That's a good mark to Nick Holland. He's called play on, but he got the kick away anyway, did Nick. Up here looking now for a new player on the ground, Hargraves. He couldn't take the mark. Greg Deere handballs it forward. It's up almost again toward half forward for the Tigers. Well done, Hawk defence. Kicked off the ground, McGuinness. Out here toward the wing where these two speedsters, Wigney and Minton-Connell, go at it. Well done, Hargraves, to get his body across an assist. And then Minton-Connell kicks off the ground. Now it's forward of wing for the Hawks, and they've got a chance as Pritchard bursts through. Under pressure from Knights, he'll kick down to a one-on-one. Dunstall and Scotty Turner. Dunstall on hands and knees, but he's got the front position. Kicked it out of Kellaway's grasp. But Turner did well, and Bond came across to help. Some shepherding now, and Bond's away for the Tigers. No, he didn't pick it up, but Gale Michael was there to assist. He kicked off the ground to half back. He looks up for support. He'll try and kick it off the ground again, but they've harassed him out of it. Crow was terrific. It's on the far wing. They want a free. Umpire says yes, you can have a free.
Gee, that's tough.
And it was terrifically tough. Chrissy Bond's got the kick. Give him one for persistence, perhaps the Tiger supporters would say.
His kick goes up towards the wing. Gale Brendan tried to claim the mark, but the Hawks defence strong. Kicked off the ground by Cooper. Going in hard was Crawford. Emerges with the ball. Gets the hand pass out wide. It's kicked off the ground back to the wing position. Broderick stands his ground for the Tigers. Slaps it onto the boot. The half forward. Perhaps McGuinness a push. Couldn't complete the mark anyway. Gets the hand pass away. Oh, they're running backwards. Lawrence, watch out. A couple of quick steps from Graeme. Target there, Pritchard at centre half back. And he finds him for the Hawks.
And that piece of play down there by Hawthorn is why Ablett and Lockett, perhaps in many people's eyes, don't measure up to Dunstall, because he followed that 150 metres, that ball, put a tackle on, got the kick, followed up again, and that is a captain's example.
Free kick at centre half forward for Hawthorn. Stevenson receives the hand pass and goes looking for Hudson. It's back out towards the 50. It's the Tigers, though, who'll clear it. Quick kick away, coming back there from Wigney, up towards the boundary, and it goes across and out of bounds on the wing.
Mind you, he didn't have to be made captain to do that. That's been the hallmark of his playing career. A very offensive and defensive full forward when it's required.
Great player. Your mate from the Channel 9 footy show, Sammy, Jason Dunstall. Quick score from you, Big Al, for Harry's Liquor Markets.
Swans fighting back. They're only trailing by 12 points. 4 goals to Bay so far. Brisbane 5-9-39. Swans 4-3-27.
18 plays 13 at Waverley. Some more ground made by the Tigers. They've worked it up along the ground towards half forward. And just joined us. It's a very, very wet Waverley with the score 3 straight 18 to 1-7-13. Tigers looking to get some straighter kicking as we see a throw in. Tapping over his head was Gale, as Sam suggested. High kicking up and under one from Bond. Didn't gain much ground. Grabbed by Callaway, who's been very busy. Quick kick. Shark by Daffy. His kick also doesn't gain much ground. Lawrence tried to take a chest mark but couldn't. Goes in after it again. Platten's going to lend some support. Was he pushed? Yes, he was. And he'll emerge from that big puddle with the free. Those long locks of his very damp, as are most players. He goes cross ground and finds Pritchard with a short kick. Another short one to Langford. I don't know about those tactics, all this short kicking. He goes out for Graham. It's on the ground, close to the boundary line. Oh, Graham tries to do a blind turn. He hasn't got much support, but he does well, keeps his feet. Hand passes to Langford. Langford's kick is a scrappy one, back towards the wing position. Jenke charges out, hits the ground. Gee, it's wet in there. The water splashing up from everywhere. A Richmond player trying to emerge. Stevenson, though it is, who gets a kick to half forward. Hargraves tries to claim the mark. Ball in dispute on the wing position. Campbell a chance for the Tigers. Puts his body in. Can he emerge with a hand pass? Oh, it's a hand pass straight to Greg Deere. He's got some support. Going in after it again, Campbell. It's kicked forward to half forward. Here's Wigney now for the Tigers. He is under plenty of pressure from Lawrence. It's at centre half forward. It's tight and it's tough in there at the moment. And they call for a ball up, but no decision. Yes, there was a decision. And it's a free kick going away of the Tigers, and it's Stuart Wigney who's going to come up with the free.
What are his stats, Bondi, for Ford Care, please?
Yeah, Wigney having a very good game. This quarter, 4 kicks, giving him 5 kicks, 3 hand passes and a couple of marks for the game.
Daicos, it's hard to believe a side like Richmond has worked so hard for a quarter plus 18 minutes to have 1 goal on the board.
Well, it's got a lot to do with the way they're disposing of the ball. No doubt.
I was going to mention before, Anthony, that McDonald here was nearly out on his feet with blood streaming out of his face. It's taken them about 3 minutes to get onto the fact that I don't think McDonald knows where he was, because he staggered over to the field of play there, and then the umpire spotted him, and he had tremendous amount of blood coming out of his head, so he's coming off the ground. But I tell you what, I reckon this game will be won. The first 6 goals will pull this game up. Any side that can kick 6 goals.
Well, there's another Richmond player, Sam, coming off on the blood rule, and actually McDonald's head cut or head wound was compliments of his own teammate, Jenke. But Minton-Connell's come off the ground, and Jason Taylor is now on for Hawthorn.
OK, now let's get back to you at the Gabbarel as it tightens up there. Compliments of Harry's Liquor Markets, of course.
Well, it really has tightened up here. There's only 5 points of difference. Brisbane 5-9-39, the Swans 5-4-34. Mark Bayes at centre-half forward has kicked 4 for the Swans and 1 to Luff playing at full forward. So they're right in this game. The Swans have lifted the midfield, and they're just showing a lot more endeavour than what they did the first quarter.
So, let's get the scoreboard here. Home Hardware scoreboard. 19 minutes, second quarter. 5 points the difference. Sam Newman saying about 6 goals might win it, and that looks about spot on the way we've read this first half. At the throw-in, big pack of players develops, and we've got a throw-in again. 18 to the Hawks, 13 to the Tigers.
Well, I mean, if it keeps raining, if the conditions stay like this, I reckon 5 goals might pull it up.
Yeah, because there's no sign at all of any break in the weather. It's just grey cloud for as far as you can see in any direction. Only place we can't look is north, and the weather doesn't come from the north too often in Victoria. As the Tigers work their way down, looking here for Rogers, tries to take a spectacular overhead mark. Not made for these conditions. Miranda's on. He couldn't get a kick away. Cooper did. Down toward the half-forward line here for the Tigers. Platten's there. Crawford's there. Kicking in danger, I reckon. Should go Crawford's way. And he'll take it.
You see, Shayne, Hawthorn last scored when they kicked their 3rd goal. I reckon maybe Graham...
20 minutes first quarter, wasn't it?
17-10 into the first quarter.
Yeah. And haven't looked like scoring again, whereas Richmond have been chipping away, and as I say, have had 8 scoring shots, and they get it down there quite often. So if Hawthorn can kick a total of 5 goals in the first half, I reckon they'll win the game.
OK, they're going to be paid a mark here, and that's pretty fair. I think it's Nick Holland who went up to take that one, wearing number 2. And he's on the outer wing, so they've made it to the centre line here, the Hawks. Looks down for Hargraves or Hudson. Daffy lurking at the back, picks up and passes to the safety of the boundary. You made comment earlier, Sam, that it's a pretty good crowd in. There's not a spare seat under cover. And probably what can you fit under cover here at Waverley, Bondi? 15,000, 20 under cover?
I'd say at least 15.5 under cover.
And then there's probably another 8,000 sitting out, because it's the only place they can get with umbrellas. So now young Luke McCabe chips in at half forward. This might be the goal they're looking for. He's chipped it to Crawford. They're working it down. They've got it between the square and the 50. Now, that kick of Crawford's not good. That might break down this attack. As young Mark Graham kicks off the ground, down to Hudson. He's handling the ball brilliantly in the wet conditions. Back to Graham. This might be the chance. Wigney's dropped the mark. It's at the goal square. Dunstall's parried it across. Stevenson should kick a goal. He has. That is terrific work from Hawthorn. That is worth 5 5 goals, that little effort. And Dunstall's work was sensational. Hawthorn 4 straight 24. Richmond 1-7-13. It's 21 minutes second quarter. Home Hardware scoreboard.
Now, I know it's opportune for us, Peter, to say that that's experience, and of course I reckon they've had fair income. I reckon they've had about 10% of the play in this game, but they've kicked 4 goals, and I say if they kick another one, they'll win the game, because to kick 4 goals, if the conditions stay like this in the second half by Richmond, will be a monumental effort, but that's experience.
Without doubt, Sam. Dunstall again.
Throw up in the centre, and it only goes 5 metres forward again. Michael Gale working like a beaver on the bottom of the pack, but once again couldn't do much about it, and in the end we'll have another bounce. So 4 straight 24, 1-7-13. Throw up. The Tigers just in attack. Lawrence punches it back to the centre circle, with a very muddy centre circle. Grabbed by Campbell. Kicks the centre half ball for the Tigers. Maybe a chance now. Nace lets it go. Goes through to Knights. Quick hand pass to Rogers from 40 metres out. Rogers goes shooting on goal. Just can't afford to miss it. We know it's tough. They just sliced it across to the right. And so the Tigers go to 1-8-14. Hawthorn 4 straight 24.
Well, I would say that is a bad miss. That seemed to be in the course of play there, and just to kick that accurately from that little distance you wouldn't think would be that hard.
Perhaps the Hawks lifting here. Terrific mark from the kick-in by Langford, the former skipper, in front of Miranda, is being warned to go back a couple of paces. Langford is at 50 in defence for the Hawks. Up for the wing, Holland in best position. Tried to take a chest mark, which was wise, but he couldn't complete the mark. Gets a half handball, grabbed by Campbell. Oh, he just fumbled as he was coming through, but did well for the Tigers.
Well, as you were saying, Sam, I think the key with any kicking, whether in the wet or dry, is balance. And that kick by Rogers was executed after 2 steps. So that's their biggest problem at the moment.
Quick score from you, Al Martello, for Harry's Liquor Markets at the Gabba.
Swans in front by 1 point. Goal the Roos, 6-4-40 to Brisbane, 5-9-39.
Pritchard grabs it from the throw-in, kicks it to the wing. Up goes Bond. He picks it up for the Tigers, bangs it onto the boot, kicks up to half-forward. Oh, magnificent mark by McGuinness, going against the trend of play there, diving backwards, and took it on the chest, hugged it in with Richardson bearing down on him. Now makes the signals. He's going to say, I'm going to kick it as long as I can. Off that left boot, a couple of short steps from McGuinness and a kick up to the wing position. Hole on the target. Deer goes up, palms it down. Campbell at ground level, tries to force it forward, got some support. Callaway taps it cleverly to Bond. He goes running and kicks up towards full forward, but getting back there again is the big fellow in Lawrence, and the ruckman have done well stepping behind play. He'll kick up towards centre half back. The target was Graeme. It goes through him though. Picked up by Knights, got some support in Gale, who runs to 50, kicks long towards the goal square. Will it make the distance? Richardson, one grab, and Gale also tapped it through. Once again, it's forced through for the defence and a behind of the Tigers. 1-9-15. Hawthorn 4 straight 24 on the Home Hardware scoreboard.
Lawrence been a very good player for Hawthorn. If it's not Lawrence, it's Langford dropping back, and those 2 players have really been a stumbling block for this Richmond side, but they are starting to kick long, and as mentioned earlier, just not scoring goals.
Rogers, Kellaway and Naish will be all disappointed with their scoring efforts, and now Knights has got it on 50 to the goal square. Miranda beaten by Cooper, another rush point. They might get up and win this on behind Richmond. 1-10-16, trailing Hawthorn, 4 goals straight, 24, 8 points down. 24 minutes second quarter, Home Hardware scoreboard. Let's go to you, Al Martello, at the Gabba for Harry's Liquor Markets.
Scotty McIver just put through his 3rd goal for Brisbane, so they're back in front by 5 points, 6-9-45, the Swans 6-4-40.
So the trend here that the Tigers are dominant but can't get goals on the board. At the kick-in, taken by Lawrence at defensive 50. Drives down toward the wing position. Out they come. Hargraves falls over. Attacked the ball very hard. It was a nice effort. Oh, he's been paid holding the ball. They are the tough decisions in these conditions. Richmond know they've got to get a goal back, and they're working toward it now. Good lead here from the big man, Richardson. Got the mark. He's not quite up to centre half forward. He is a big boy, and there's a good lead up here from Rogers. Oh, he's kicked one right off the side of the boot. He was trying to kick the leather off it and only made the 50. And now Hudson, I think it was, who took the mark, has kicked it out of bounds on the full. It was Crawford, in fact. Hudson should be at the other end.
Got the gloves on, mate.
Yep. And Crawford's kicked it out of bounds on the full. So Kellaway wearing a very fashionable headband here. Sam might be able to describe to us the make at half-time as Kellaway now drives down to attacking 50. Big men required. Naish goes in. He kicks off the ground, but only as far as Platten. He'll get a kick away. Only a short one, but it was effective. Jason Taylor couldn't handle a slippery ball, so parries it out wide. And here's Crawford going in again on Member's wing. Little chip kick, and that's all it was. Very, very little on the boundary line wins, as Pritchard and Crawford are happy to see it over. It's just forward of the wing. Richmond's way. On the members' side, the Tigers up to the city or the eastern or small scoreboard end here of Waverley. They trail 16-24 on the home hardware scoreboard at 26 minutes second quarter.
Holland doing the ruck work for the Hawks. Taps it down. Broderick for the Tigers with Bond all over the ball. But, gee, there's just so many in there. A real traffic jam, and no one could do anything, and we'll have another bounce down. So it's still at half forward. A good 2 or perhaps almost 3 or 3.5 kicks away from the Tigers' goal at the moment. From the tap down, it's grabbed by Pritchard. An up and under kick back to the wing. Tate goes, oh, gee, I don't know if he was looking at the ball or not. Ball hits the ground, grabbed by Daffy. Goes to centre half forward. Oh, Richardson, an Academy Award effort. Gale, an Academy Award effort. Goes in after it again, kicks it off the ground. Lawrence, an errant kick. The ball's still in dispute. Cooper dives. It's about 40 metres out from the Tigers' goal. Once again, a ball up.
You're right there, Anthony. I'm not sure if it was Richardson or Gale, but
they look alike in the wet, don't
they? They do indeed. Was it Richardson?
Yeah.
And he does that a bit, Richardson, incidentally, stages, but that's okay. Maybe he'll get one shortly and we'll put him in front.
Kicked off the ground from that throw up by Langford, but it's grabbed by Deere. His high left foot kick gives Nace a chance. Try to take it on the chest. Punched away by Cooper. Does well. Pushes out towards the boundary. Stevenson applied for hip and shoulder. Richardson stands his ground. Gets some shepherding from Gale, but it's Collins that goes in hard for the Hawks. Pushes it close to the boundary line. Grabbed back by Gale, though. Runs off from about 40 metres. Chips into the goal square for the Tigers. Marinda and Gale. Oh! And the spoil came at the last minute. I just thought for a moment.
Doing a terrific job, Lawrence, down there. He marks when he has to, punches away when he has to, and he is playing the classic following game, whereas Greg Deere, I reckon, has been in top, and in fact on top, in the actual ruck hit-out.
So the scoreboard, 7 points Hawthorn's way, 4 straight 24 the Hawks have kicked. We're 28 minutes into the second quarter, siren about to blow. Richmond 1-11-17. Quick update from the Gabba. Al Martello for Harry's Liquor Markets.
Brisbane leading by 11 points. Brisbane 7-10-52 to the Swans 6-4-40.
Pritchard gets the ball after the kick in. At defensive 50. Torpedoes one down toward the centre. This would be a backbreaker if Hawthorn can kick one now, as it's taken for them by Taylor. Gets the hand pass working. And a long kick. Stevenson finds Hudson. He's at the front corner of the square. Danger. Dunstall's got room. Is the pass good? Oh, he's grabbed it low to the ground. Dunstall is marked 40 metres from goal. Not a great deal of angle. The pass and the mark, absolutely sensational in these conditions.
Well, that was terrific play by Hudson. And how polarised can you get a game? If Dunstall kicks this 5 straight goals to 1-11, you just cannot, I suppose if they hadn't kicked a goal at all, Richmond kicked 12 behinds, you just cannot get a worse, as you said, Shayne, a worse backbreaker for a side that has been on top like Richmond.
He'll probably kick it. No, he won't. No, he's kicked a shocker. So it's about the first bad kick Hawthorn's had for goal all day. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full Dunstall. Well, if there's any justice in footy, that was it, because that would have really hurt the Tigers right on half-time. Hawthorn in front by 7 points. They're 4 straight 24 to 1-11-17, and we must be right on half-time at 29 minutes second quarter.
Kick in goes to 50. Quick kick from Pritchard forward, but a diving mark back there for the Tigers by Wigney. And he has been a good player. And it's half-time as Wigney about to kick the ball. Hawthorn 4 straight 24. Richmond 1-11-17. That's right, you heard right. The home hardware scoreboard at half-time. Richmond 1-11-17. Hawthorn 4 straight 24.
And the goal kicker for the Tigers is Brendan Gale. The 3 misses that they should have had. Rogers running from 40. Nash standing start from 20 to 25. And Kellaway standing start from 12 metres out. And if they'd kicked those 3 goals, Richmond, instead of being 1-11, they'd be 4-8. And there'd be an entirely different complexion on this game. But they're the would-have-beens or the could-have-beens. The actual fact is that Hawthorn is 7 points to the good at the long break here in an enthralling battle in horrible conditions on the home hardware scoreboard. Back to the Gabba, where Big Al Martello Ford care.
Thanks, Shane. Well, in the last 6 quarters against the Hawks, the Tigers have kicked 12 goals, 34. In their last game last year, they kicked 11-23. So add that to the 1-11 and we get 12-34.
You're incredible, Bondy.
And this half of football, the Tigers have had 154 possessions to 116 by Hawthorn, so Richmond have had much more of the ball. Michael Gale's played a fantastic first half, 14 kicks and 2 hand passes, 7 kicks in each of the 2 quarters. Duncan Kellaway's had 13 touches, Matthew Knights has had 12, and Chrissy Bonds had 10. His opponent, Johnny Platton's had 7, Darren Pritchard's had 10 kicks for the Hawks. Steve Lawrence has had a great game for Hawthorn. 5 kicks in the first quarter, 4 in the second, 9 kicks plus 4 telling marks across the back line. but he's only had 6 headouts. He's been well beaten in that division by Greg Deere, who's had 12, but Deere has only picked up 4 kicks around the ground and no marks. Stuart Wigney doing very well across the half-back line, 5 kicks in the second quarter to give him 6 kicks and 3 marks for the game. Richmond only taken 16 marks. The Hawks have taken 27, so obviously the Hawthorn side controlling the air, but Richmond have had 52 hand passes to only 24 of Hawthorn, so you can see the 2 different styles of games being played by these 2 sides. No goals in that quarter to 6 behinds for Richmond. Hawthorn, only the 1 scoring shot, 1 straight goal. And at half-time, Shane, they're the stats on behalf of Ford Care.
Back on behalf of Harry's Liquor Markets to Al Martello at the Gabba for an update late in the second quarter there.
Brisbane still by 5 points, 7-10-52 to the Swans 7-5-47.
Thanks, Al. Well, Sam Newman and Peter Daicos, your thoughts on that first half, and after our next break, Sam, we're going to talk to Michael Davis, who played Augusta through the week. You might have a little chat about the 18 holes there.
I'd like to ask him how he negotiated the holes down in Amen Corner. And so we'll get on to him shortly.
All right.
Well, now, Peter, I would think if John Northey, I would think John Northey would be saying to his charges at the minute, you have a real opportunity to create some recent history for the Richmond Football Club. I think the first time since the Depression. First time since the Depression they won 4 games in a row. They have a very good opportunity doing that, and I thought that if Hawthorn had actually kicked another goal, that would have just about broken them, and also it would have been an impossible task because...
battle with the Hawks in front by 7 points. They've got an early free kick as they kick probably with the aid of about a 2-goal breeze up to that eastern or small scoreboard end. Johnny Platten to take the first possession of the third quarter. Hawthorn 4 straight 24. Richmond 1-11-17, and it's a 45-metre kick by Platten down looking there for Jason Taylor wearing the long sleeves. Couldn't take the mark. Tape did well and gave it across to Tony Free, who kicked wide, but there's a sea of brown and gold out there, and it's taken by Cooper, and Cooper looks for Crawford. Hudson racing after the footy as well, but the boundary line beats all players right in front of the Watts News sign out there, and it's over for a throw-in. So the Hawks leading by 7 points, Brisbane by 5 points at the Gabba, and we're early in the third quarter here. Critical quarter now. Richmond's got to stay with Hawthorn as they attack with the breeze down to the dangerous Dunstall. Campbell gets a short kick away, but Platten goes in and kicks off the ground. Down toward Minton-Connell, just couldn't take the mark. Was he tackled without it? Umpire said no, play on. Tallis, clever hand pass, inside 50, Platten kicks off the ground. Free parries it away. Tigers kick off the ground now, that was good play. Graeme Bond outside their own defensive 50. Through comes Knights, he kicks off the ground. That was nice work, Matty Knights. Down here almost toward the wing, another kick off the ground. That time came from the Hawks' Andy Collins, I fancy, in a nice new fresh jumper. Number 5 it was. And he's kicked it over the boundary line 80 metres from the Hawthorn goal. It's on the members' side, almost up toward the half-forward flank, and the umpire throws it back into play.
And there it goes, Deere, up over the top, tapped it down. Tallis goes in hard for the Hawks, but Callaway equally is tough for the Tigers, works it closer to the boundary line. A real tunnel ball, almost a throw from Bond. It goes into the arms of Pritchard, who tumbles the kick to half-forward. Minton-Connell broke away from Wigney, but couldn't take the mark. Wigney goes in it. Now Stevenson dives in it. They're not going to be able to clear it from there, surely. They do knock it across though to Hargraves. At 50, he grabs it. He's grabbed by Daffy as he kicks, and his kick goes into the arms safely for the Tigers of Turner in defence, who wastes no time. His kick is poor. It goes close to the boundary line, but stays in time for Callaway to pick it up. Get the hand pass across to Deere. He gets a call from Gale, but his hand pass in the end was pretty ordinary, and it just fumbled over the line.
And if Turner hadn't marked that ball, there was Platten and Dunstall right beside him, so a fantastic mark under the circumstances from Turner, as you called, Anthony, because that would have been a certain goal to Hawthorn and a certain victory.
So 60 metres. We're waiting. Someone else coming off for the blood rule. Is it Wigney back there coming off? It's certainly...
He's played well too, Anthony.
He has played well, and that'll be a loss for the Tigers. And we're going to have Justin Charles come on for his first run for Richmond at his new club. He comes on. All of a sudden, it's a bit of a brighter look here, mainly because the lights are on, but I think the rain is just about stopped. So I think, as we said, the first 5 or 10 minutes while the ball is relatively dry could well tell the tale. Hawthorn 4 straight 24, Richmond 1-11-17, I should say. About to be thrown in 60 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. Up goes Holland wearing the long sleeves. Beats Deer for this one. Deer, though, goes back in after it, taps it close to the boundary line. Crawford a chance. Once again, Callaway. Gee, he's been busy for the Tigers. He's on the bottom, beavering in there. He took plenty of time. Anyway, it's out of bounds and we'll have a throw in.
You looked at me askance, if that is a word, Shane, when I said another goal at this stage would seal it for Hawthorn. You disagree with that?
I'm a bit surprised you'd say it that early, Sam. I know it's a low-scoring game. You might very well be right, though.
Mind you, it has stopped raining.
Yeah, maybe goals might be just a little easier to get here. There's a free kick now to the Hawks. Nick Holland, he's done some good buffeting work. Hasn't had a big impression on the game, but hasn't been their worst player. Wearing number 2. Sam Newman gave him votes in his first game last year. National Sportsbook have never forgiven him. Here's Nick Holland now. Down within 35 of goal. Look out for Dunstall. Beaten, though, and beaten pointless. Justin Charles. Sensational new haircut, Justin, as he gallops out there from the fence and drives on left foot. Looking for Miranda. Gale takes the crumbs. The game has opened up since the rain stopped. It goes down to the front of the square here for Richmond. Cooper's got it under pressure. Darts away nicely and drives long. Look at the breeze. Carry that with the torpedo down to Minton-Connell and Charles. Free kick to the Tigers. And Big Justin's going to take it again, is he? That is a real old-fashioned bowl haircut that Justin Charles has got. It's probably got a different name these days. In the 90s, he looks for Benny Gale, who couldn't take the mark. Langford goes through, darts out of a Michael Gale bump, and then kicks down in the Hudson direction inside 50. Been a good battle that between Free and Hudson, Sam, and Free's had his hands full all day.
It has, but Peter, you're quite right there, Shane. I didn't want to dismiss that out of hand. You're quite right there. But Peter, Hawthorn looked to have lifted, and this doesn't look good for Richmond because they have got far more of the play at the minute.
Well, it's crucial the next 10 minutes, Sam. One more goal, I mean, could wrap this game up. We said it at half-time.
So at the tap down, Daffy should be able to take a clear position. Yeah, this game has certainly changed significantly since that rain stopped. They are finding it a little bit easier to handle a dry ball now as Burke, and here's a great chance for Richmond, finds Miranda forward of centre. He's away, and he can kick it into the open for Richardson, and he's only 25 out, and it's home. And they finally got one, Bondy, after how long has it been?
Well, Richmond scored their first goal, Shane, 5 minutes and 42 seconds into the first quarter, and now exactly 5 minutes and 10 seconds into the third quarter, they kicked their second through Matthew Richardson.
So the St Overs Vitamin scoreboard, 5 minutes, third quarter. Hawthorn, 4 straight, 24. It is tight here now. Richmond 2-11-23.
Well, what does that tell you? Both Richmond goals have been open goals when players have pushed up the ground. They've kicked well into the forward line and let the player run into it. 2 open goals they've kicked that way, so they should continue with that ploy.
And a real buzz goes up around Waverley Park. Just 1 point the difference in favour of Hawthorn. First possession out of the centre here could be crucial. Platten had a chance. He missed it going in Knight. Can he handle it? Surely. Not at the moment. He goes backwards, concedes some ground, dumps it into the arms of Broderick, who goes short the half forward. Miranda on a lead, but it drops shorter than that, and into the arms of Michael Gale, who has been a good player for the Tigers. Now he's still much too far out the score. Gets a lead from Richardson, ignores that. Could go longer to Edwards. That he does. Out comes Edwards. It'll drop shorter at centre half forward. Big fist away came from Lawrence into the arms of Crawford, who's got some defenders sweeping out wide. He finds Graham, but Campbell runs that down. Graham's second effort is good. It's off the ground. Once again, a race on. Campbell will get there first for the Tigers. Oh, off balance. Clever hand pass to Deer. Another hand pass further afield, and the Tigers about to go into attack. Quick kick from Broderick as a centering one to Bond, who just couldn't trap it at the crucial moment. He's tackled by Platten. Held without the ball. Platten kept on hanging on, and so Chrissy Bond climbs to his feet, and he's got the free on the wing for the Tigers, so he'll go deep into attack. It's a real up and under kick, though. Drops outside 50. Up went Gale. Couldn't hang on to it. Kick away from Cooper back towards the wing position. Broderick flies, as does Pritchard. It's Broderick, though, who gets it off the Bond. Hurried kick back to centre half forward, and Langford in the road takes the mark.
Yes, he should have done a little bit more of that. Langford's pushed his opponent away and will chip dangerously to Crawford, but he marks at centre half back. Up toward the centre. Hawthorn by a point if you've just joined us. 7 minutes, third quarter. Able to clear now. Down toward the centre. Tallis, nice work. Gets it across to Stevenson. Clever hands to Collins. Right in the centre. Michael Gale, fantastic. Richmond has lifted. Tate takes it now. Gets it to Chrissy Bond. Terrific stuff. Long and high. Cooper in best position. Couldn't mark. Broderick grabs it. Well tackled by Cooper. Tigers have got numbers. Benny Gale picks up. Loses it. High tackle. No, says the umpire. Ball up.
Good umpiring. The umpiring's good. Good solid stuff there. The umpire's not over-umpiring the game. And great play by Langford, who undid it with some unnecessary hand passing. In these conditions, you've got to drive the ball as long as you can until you get the obvious chance to kick it short.
Yes, you heard right. Sam Newman praising the umpires on 3AW football. 8 minutes into the third quarter, another ball up out there. Hawthorn 4 straight 24. Richmond 2 goals 11, 23, 8 minutes gone.
And Brisbane 5 points in front at the Gabba for Harry's Liquor Market's about to start the third.
There goes the throw, tapped away by Lawrence. It's good for the Hawks. Goes to Langford. Left foot kick is a good one. Lands safely in the arms of Minton-Connell. He's at centre half forward. He goes short to Stevenson, who's running in space. He gets to 30. He takes the mark, hesitates. Then he kicks off the left. It's good.
Terrific goal.
Good kick from Stevenson off the left. That's his second, I think, today.
Yep,
and he's handled the ball very well in front of goal, and the Hawks get the answering goal. 5 straight 30. Richmond 2, 11, 23 on the Stenovas Vitamin scoreboard.
It's been typical Sam, hasn't it? 5 minutes Richmond have had that ball and put an amazing amount of pressure on Hawthorn, but they've been able to get it back the other end and kick a goal, more importantly.
And 5 straight goals, and I thought that he'd made a mistake by playing on, but he's kicked their 5th straight goals, so who are we?
So Deere gets the tap down. Now can the Hawks lift and kick a couple of unanswered goals? Platten to half forward. Kellaway, a rare fumble. Tackle without it by desperate Crawford. Free kick to the Tigers. At full back.
Kellaway.
And it's going to be Duncan Kellaway. What are his stats, Bondy, for forward care?
Duncan Kellaway, Shane, coming in for kick 9, 6 handball.
Should find Broderick out here. He's lying over the top. He'll want to get rid of it. Parries it to 2. Oh, dear me. To Taper. Got buried in a tackle. Now Knights has tackled without it. No free kick. Through bursts Hawthorn, looking a bit more positive. Pritchard down dangerously toward Hudson and Dunstall. But a great effort, Turner, to concede it over the boundary line. 25 from Hawthorn's goal. Members forward pocket at the small scoreboard end. Peter Daicos.
Miranda off the ground. Stuart Wigney is back on the ground after going off for the blood rule. But again, Richmond finding themselves under a hell of a lot of pressure in the forward pocket for Hawthorn.
So a throw in here. And 7 points to the good are the Hawks. Drove here by Stevenson. Just couldn't get a clear kick. Hargraves it was. Broderick went in. Big pack develops 30 metres from the Hawk goals. Let's see if they're playing at the Gabba. Here's Al Martello for Harry's Liquor Markets.
About to start in about 5 seconds, Shane.
And the score again, please.
7-10-52 Brisbane to the Swans 7-5-47.
So we've got a throw up about 30 metres out from goal. Danger zone for Hawthorn. Going in hard, Hudson. And he pick it up. He's pushed towards the boundary. Hand passes over his head, which was good to Tallis. He was claimed. Coming through to help out, though, is Tony Free. Gee, caught one. Coming through Stevenson. That was tough. And I reckon Tony Free for a moment might have thought it was a flashy Dermot Brereton running through as he saw the blonde locks and a high one through. It's out of bounds.
Came through very strongly. And Stuart Wigney, they've strapped his nose up so it won't bleed. He's got new clothes on, a new strip, and they've put a piece of elastoplast around his head and under his snoz so it won't drip out blood.
Talking fashion, Sam Newman, 5 goals straight 30. Richmond 2-11-23, 7 points the difference. 11-minute mark. We've got a throw up about 55 metres out from Hawthorn's goal. Deere too tall for Minton-Connell. His tap down gives Daffy a chance. Quickly picked up by Hargraves, so he gets it forward about 20 metres, so it's close to the boundary line. Coming out, Wigney. Oh, he's claimed and holding the ball. That was pretty tough. Hudson, the tackler. Gee, was he out of bounds?
Well, he was well out of bounds. Now, he was well out of bounds, Graeme, when he was tackled in, and he made no attempt to get rid of it because he just assumed that he was out of bounds.
So Hudson will have a very tough kick at goal in these conditions.
Any score will do.
Any score will do, says Daicos. They haven't kicked a behind yet today, Hawthorn. 5 straight 30. This will surely test them. Hudson, well, still haven't scored a behind. Didn't trouble the scorers. They're out of bounds on the full. In fact, it was touched off the boot. So we'll have a throw in very close to the behind post.
Definitely over the boundary line there.
It was like a rugby tackle that forced him into touch. So, you know, no point in trying to dispose of the ball.
Yeah, I thought he was very unlucky. 12 minutes, third quarter. Hawthorn 30, Richmond 23. Stopped raining. Now Hargraves roves, breaks, and then drops the footy. Yep, great tackle. Deere gets the free. Hand passes dangerously to Bond. It's rolling to the boundary. He'll be under terrific pressure here. But that time, Hargraves was deemed to have been a little toward the man, and Bond is going to take the free for what appeared okay as a hip and shoulder, Sam.
Appeared okay, Shane. Let's hope they don't waver, the umpires. They've been good.
Yeah, they have been terrific. And Bond from back pocket almost makes the wing with a long searching kick. Lawrence comes through. Taps it to the good of Platt, and clever hand pass inside, hoping for Tallis. Deere holds him up at 60 metres from Hawthorn's goal. Great pick up Crawford. Hand pass to Holland, put him under terrible pressure. He's gone. Umpire letting it go. Ball up. Well, he was bending over. Maybe there was some thought of around the neck, Daicos, but in the end, the ball up may be the best choice.
Well, typical of Richmond's tenacity in this game. There were two players that absolutely wrapped him up. Nick Holland was going nowhere.
So Deer tries to thump it forward, gets it wide, about 15 metres. Lawrence kicks off the ground, and it'll wobble over the boundary line. So Big Al for Harry's Liquor Markets. We can go back to you with the score from the Gabba early in the third quarter.
Well, Roger Merritt's just put through his third goal, and Brisbane move out to an 11-point lead now. 8-10-58 to the Swans, 7-5-47.
Yet another throw-in at half-forward for Hawthorn. The tap-down came from down towards Daffy. Callaway goes in after it now. He can't knock it out. Gee, he's been on the bottom of the pack today, Duncan Callaway, many, many times. Crawford in there as well. And we'll have another bounce down. Matthew Knights emerges to throw the ball across to the umpire. Still on the wing position. Hawthorn just in attack. Holland will knock them further, but it goes into the arms of Gale. His kick goes back from where the ball up came. Knights had it, lost it. Crawford's got it now. Callaway. Oh, Tallis handled the ball well, but he just couldn't get the kick away because Daffy applied the smother. Blow the whistle. No, he doesn't. Lets it go. Daffy goes in. Almost threw it out to Greg Deer. Finally, the boundary line's the saviour and another throw-in. 5 straight 30, Hawthorn. Richmond 2-11-23. 14 minutes third quarter. St Ives Vitamin scoreboard shows a 7-point margin. Hargraves from the throw-in come flying through, but he just couldn't grab the ball. Knocked it forward for the Hawks. Goes to Tate, though, for Richmond. Gets it off to Broderick. He gets a tumbling punt towards the half-forward position. All Hawthorn back there. Lawrence dives on it. Couldn't grab it. He just tries to shrug it away. He couldn't as Burke put pressure on, and once again we'll have a bounce down.
Now, two different sets of tactics here, Peter. Hawthorn paying no attention to ruck contests. They've got Lawrence not even contesting any of them, except when he's on that that kick behind the play, and Deer doing all the ruck work for Richmond.
Oh, great courageous mark from Michael Gale here as the Hawks cleared from their own half back line. He marks on the wing, does Michael Gale, close to best of field. Drives down to half forward. Pack rises. David Burke able to thump it forward. Great take, Langford one hand. A high ball for Tape and Nick Holland to go at. Tape had the better of it, couldn't hold the mark. Knights plays for a push in the back that won't come. And in the end, it's just wobbled over the boundary line, just forward of the wing. Pretty well on true wing position, actually. About a metre Richmond's way. They're attacking up to the main scoreboard for the Dandenong Rangers end here of Waverley Park. At the throw-in, Deer tried to hit it forward, but actually hit it to the back of the pack, where Callaway goes in. Bond now can have a clear possession. Hand passes to Gale, hand passes to Tape, who kicks short to Burke. And they've made it almost to their half-forward flank. 2.5 kicks from goal, the Tigers. Burke, a nice drop punt. Down to attacking 50. Pack rises. Great thump away, Langford. Bond's at the bottom, but Platten thumps away from him, and it's over for a throw-in again. It's 15 minutes, third stanza. Lights are on, but the rain has stopped at Waverley. And the St Ives Vitamin scoreboard, Richmond 5 straight 30. Hawthorn 5 straight 30, I should say. Richmond 2-11-23.
I think Richmond have got to be a little mindful of not kicking the ball down to Lawrence, who obviously is playing a kick behind the game, because when Burke kicked that ball forward, he kicked it straight down to Lawrence, who is going to do nothing more than punch the thing away. So I think they've got to be a little more innovative if they're going to try and kick their third goal.
Yet another throw-in on the wing position. It's been in this position between the two half-forwards for quite a long time in this quarter. From that throw, Broderick it was who grabbed the ball. He was quickly harangued and loses it now. Knights goes into lend some support. Tallis right down there. Knights does well. Gets the kick. It's an up and under one. Goes to half-forward. Coming out Burke. Also Cooper. Ball spills to the ground. Going in Pritchard. Ties it up. And another bounce down. 5 straight 30 to 2-11-23.
And Al Martello, let's check your score at the Gabba for Harry's Liquor Markets.
Brisbane by 11 points, 8-10-58. The Swans 7-5-47.
17 minutes into the third quarter here at Waverley. Deer spikes it out of the air, up the half forward for the Tigers. Quickly tapping it back and regaining that ground. There's a combination of Cooper and Crawford off the ground. And once again, it's out of bounds.
Well, terrific play, and really that's been Hawthorn's game plan all day, just to get the ball forward. That was by hand then, and just by foot and out of bounds.
Jason Taylor warming up for the Hawks, throws his dressing gown off. He's keen to get out there. We have another throw-in, and as a result of that, another bounce down.
So 17 minutes, third quarter, 7 points in it. It's been close all day. Lights are on here, and this game, the 4 points, absolutely up for grabs. And there's a push in the ruck, and it's against Nick Holland to Benny Gale. How are his stats looking, Bondy, for Ford Care?
Well, Benny Gale, Shane, 8 kicks, 6 hand passes, yet to take a mark today.
He's got his hands on it a lot. He's kicked it long, hoping for Edwards or Richardson. They rose now. Who's down? Danger here. Rogers, but he's kicked it straight to Langford, who just read it delightfully. He knew a little quick kick would come to the goal square. He got back there. Richardson ran over the mark. He's infuriated. He's running at the umpire, remonstrating, body language telling us all. 50 metres against you, Matthew. You keep talking, I'll keep walking, says the umpire. And here's Matthew Richardson now back near the centre as Langford's about to take the kick. And he kicks it long, looking for Nick Holland. Pack rises, no one can mark. Who's down? Well, Hargraves goes in. So too does Michael Gale. It's at centre half forward here for Hawthorn. But a nice quick hand pass gives Bond a little bit of room. He drives down to a sea of Tigers here on the wing, and they might break here. It's Rogers on the left foot. Long, hoping for Edwards. He nearly had it. Burke almost had it as well on the break. It's on 50. They're lying over the top. Play on. Numbers needed for both sides. Ball up. And Daicos nearly to young David Burke there. He almost swooped on that and took it off the pack. In the end, the slippery ball probably stopped him.
Well, terrific play by Hawthorn, able to bottle that up now, and now you find a ball up with countless Hawthorn jumpers there.
Nash grabs it from the tap, kicks it forward to full forward. Richardson! He's got it. He takes the mark.
Good use of the body.
That's it, Daicos. Beautiful use of the body and just edging out McGuinness and taking the mark plumb in front, about 10 metres out. And now, the big question, of course, it's no certainty, particularly with Matthew Richardson, is the shot at goal. But not too much angle to speak of, as I said, about 10 or 12 metres out. A couple of twirls with the ball, just the nervous habit, comes in steady, shoots for goal, Richardson. Oh, gee, I think it might be in. Let's wait and see. It's a goal. So the Tigers back within 1 point. The Synovus Vitamin scoreboard at the 20-minute mark. Hawthorn 5 straight 30. Richardson 3:11:29. That's Richardson's second goal.
And very good play by Richmond, because Matthew Richardson gave the 50 metres away, so not only did they overcome that to get it back, make up that 50 metres, so that's 100 metres they made up, but Richardson, the perpetrator of the infringement in the first place, took a nice mark with good use of the body, as Peter Daicos said, and kicked truly. So terrific piece of play all round.
For such horrible conditions, this is a terrific match. I'd go close to saying the best match I've seen this year so far. And now it wobbles down Richmond's way toward half forward, and Platten's able to bring it away for Hawthorn. Back toward the centre. Tape there versus Jason Taylor. No one could take the mark. Knights burrows in, ball up. Al Martello at the gabba for Harry's Liquor Markets.
Real pressure game. Brisbane still leading by 11 points. 8-10-58. The Swans 7-5-47.
So it's a point 30 Hawthorn, 29 Richmond. That's the Synovus Vitamin scoreboard. Big thump away, dear, and it might work here for Chrissy Bond. Clever kicked off the ground for Broderick and Cooper to chase. Almost up to Richmond's attacking 50. Clever Cooper kicked it off the ground toward the safety of the boundary. Richardson chases, and it's over for a throw-in. Here's Sam Newman on 3AW footy.
Well, very soon, Hawthorn are going to have to decide whether they're going to just let Greg Deere win every hit out and keep thumping the ball forward, or they're going to put Stephen Lawrence in to actually combat him, because Lawrence is making no attempt to go with Deere in any of the ruck contests, certainly in the middle of the ground, and the bounce-ups or the throw-ups, but he's playing that kick behind the game.
So Pritchard now from the throw-in. Lawrence actually did go that one with Deere, but I suppose that's because it's down in Richmond's forward area. It's out there on that outer wing. Big pack of players around the footy. The umpire's going to ball it up. Oh, there's some heated gestures there coming from the crowd. They were very annoyed, a couple of Hawthorn supporters there, that Big Lawrence wasn't given a free kick. But we're going to have a ball up. It's forward of the outer wing for Richmond, who are down by a point. Nice tap down Lawrence, taken by Tallis. He drives down looking for Jason Taylor. Look at the thump forward by Tallis. That was worth a kick down toward half-forward flank, where Free comes out ahead of Hudson. And it's over the boundary line for a throw-in again. Peter Daicos.
Well, exactly right, Shane. That was worth a kick, and that's what Hawthorn's done all day. The next 5 or the rest of this quarter is going to be crucial. If Hawthorn are able to kick another goal, it will knock a hell of a lot out of Richmond, and if Richmond can get one, well, they can go on with it.
Taylor tries to grab this throw-in out of the air, but it's Campbell that gets it out. But he's quickly grabbed, and a free kick is paid to Tate, who got it off Campbell. And Tate gets to his feet now with a free at half-back for the Tigers. Tate just steadying things and surveying his options. It's very difficult when you're in that situation. And the only thing he can do is kick it forward, which he does to the wing position. McDonald's in there. Quick hand pass away for the Tigers. Sets up a chance for Knights. He fumbled at the crucial moment. It is hard in there. Once again, they come from everywhere, and we'll have another throw-up.
Al Martello for Harry's Liquor Markets from the Gabba.
McIver just put through his 5th goal. Brisbane now 9-12-66, leading the Swans 7-5-47.
Deer does battle with Taylor at half forward from that throw, and it's tapped down. There's a high tackle paid by the umpire, and it's going Richmond's way, and it's Nick Daffy it is who emerges with the free. Goes short, out wide to Tape, who's run down towards the wing position. Goes off his right foot in towards Gale, up, couldn't take the mark. It goes down to the ground, working hard is Naish. The Hawthorn defence tied up. We'll have another throw up.
You'd think it's just a matter of time before actually Richmond not only take the lead but win the game. 14 shots to 5. They have been supreme as far as getting the thing down to their forward line, so unless Hawthorn are very careful, they'll get swamped shortly.
Lawrence goes at it, taps it down, but gee, the Tigers diving in on top of it again. And Lawrence actually at the ground level, they're doing some hard tackling work, and it was Callaway once again at the bottom of the pack who emerges and hands it over to the umpires. We've got another throw up.
It's interesting what you say, Sam. I've been thinking the same thing for about 10 minutes, but not going to say it because the game's just so close. And here's the ball, just parrying away from the centre. Michael Gale kicks off the ground down toward Richmond's half-forward line. Chance for Rogers now to chase it. He's going to pick it up on the long sleeves. Oh, he was met by Cooper hard. Collins went in as well. And Collins kicks off the ground back toward that half-back flank. And then Gale kicks off the ground. Gale Michael. And he kicks it off the ground and over the boundary line for a throw-in. 24 minutes, third quarter at Waverley Park. And Hawthorn, 5 goals, no behinds, 30. Richmond, 3-11-29. And that's the Synovus Vitamin scoreboard. Now at the throw-in. Kellaway darts out of 2 tackles. Beautifully done, and then sizes a left foot kick. Richardson's up, or just couldn't take it. Graeme was in trouble, he's given it away. Danger, Naish. Bad hand pass put Broderick under terrible pressure. It's wobbled back toward the centre line now. There's an over-the-shoulder, should have been to Stevenson, not paid. Tallis took it. He drove beyond centre for Bond and Platten to go at it. Platten's hand pass was terrific. He works it forward to McDonald, who kicks off the ground, and Minton-Connell's got it. He's got it about 75 from goal. Hand passes to Pritchard, who makes 50. Pritchard kicks for the front of the goal square. Here's danger. Stevenson off the ground. It's going to go through, is it? No, they've finally rushed to behind Richmond. First behind of the day to Hawthorn at 24 and a half minutes, third quarter. Hawks are 5-1-31, Richmond 3-11-29, an engrossing match, Daicos, and that was an engrossing passage of play.
Dunstall, interesting watching Dunstall and Turner go at that ball. I think they've got frostbite. The ball hasn't been down there, so pretty cold aboard at the moment.
Turner's first kick in for the Tigers is to the outer side half-back flank. Campbell goes at it. Lawrence floating across on top of it, ensuring the ball goes out of bounds for another throw-in. One to check, Daicos. Is Platten being moved down to the half-forward line? He may be trying to take Chris Bond out of the game, because Bond's certainly winning that contest early on.
Well, that's a strange one, because Richmond have been dominant, as Sam has said, around the packs. They've just won countless possessions.
Lawrence taps it out of the air, further forward for the Hawks, getting it towards 50. Once again, it's just like a scrum, as the players just trying to gain yardage, and it's out of bounds, close on 50 again.
Al Martello for Harry's Liquor Markets from the Gabba.
And it's a 17-point lead to Brisbane, 9-12-66, to the Swans, 7-7-49.
Another throw in at half forward for the Hawks. Taylor in front of Deer. Deer it was who tapped it forward, though, for the Tigers. Once again, the troops come swarming, and another throw-up.
Now, what's the normal amount of ball-ups for a game, Graeme?
It's usually about 18, Sam. Today so far we've had 19 and 16, make 35.
Throw in number 36 is that one. Throw up 36. It's kicked high up in the air for the Hawks. Minton-Connell had a go at it, couldn't get full purchase on the ball. Kicked away Wigney, straight though into the arms of big Lawrence yet again for the Hawks. Lawrence from half forward, kicks up to centre half forward. Oh, he's playing kick to kick. Callaway, mark not paid, perhaps should have been. Shark out by Minton-Connell to Tallis. Oh, Hudson couldn't take the mark. Hits the ground, coming through Dunstall. Can he pick it up? No, he can't. Tapes there. Tigers out of trouble. It's out of bounds.
Callaway had perfect purchase there, Sam.
Oh, no, that is very bad decision. I mean, you can't do much more than that.
Well, it's out of bounds again, 65 metres. Sam back to his more usual form there. Synovus Vitamin.
What did you think, Anthony?
I agree with you. 5-1-31, Richmond 3-11-29. There goes the throw. Tap down by Deer again against Taylor. Going in hard, Langford is claimed, falls into the arms of Tape. He kicks it up towards the wing position, up towards McGuinness and Richardson. McGuinness will win out. Doesn't matter. Three-quarter time siren. And what a great contest. What a great last quarter ahead. Hawthorn 5-1-31. Richmond 3-11-29. That's the Synovus Vitamin scoreboard at three-quarter time.
And you'll hear all the action right here through 5AA in Adelaide, 6PR Perth and relay stations around Australia. Let's get a score from the Gabba. Alma.
and kick a couple of goals, it might be almost worth Richmond abandoning everything and putting everyone on the ball and seeing if they can rescue the game like that.
First goal, obviously, absolutely critical here as Michael Gale gets first clear possession from behind centre for the Tigers in the last quarter. Down to big Matthew Richardson, who tries a little clever soccer stuff. Didn't come off. Benny Gale goes into assist. Richardson wants a free, says the Hawthorn player in, was it Langford or McGuinness? It was the latter, was lying over the top of the footy. Richardson had him with one arm and had the other arm in the air saying, come on up. But in the end, no free kick given. At the ball up, centre half forward for Richmond. In goes young McCabe. He can't get a clear possession. Tough conditions for that young fellow today. Tough conditions for all players. And we've got a ball up just forward of centre for Richmond, attacking with a slight breeze, worth maybe a goal or two. Down to that small scoreboard end. Ball carrying certainly further in that direction today, but goals have been scored at both ends. Greg Deere almost took it out of the air. In the end, Gale got a little chip forward. Kellaway, lovely blind turn, and he's away. Short chip kick inside 50. Now can Richardson get it? No, he can't. Kick off the ground, well done, Cooper. Out wide here to half-back flank member side where Pritchard is going to be first there. The pick up one hand was delightful. It just didn't stick, so he kicked it off the ground. And it's over for a throw-in, almost up to the wing here on the members' side. Richmond 3-11-29, Hawthorn 5-1-31 on the Crown Casino scoreboard. Daicos, how are you seeing it?
Well, it's been a terrific contest, as we've said all day, and really every time they go on the forward line, every score is crucial.
Every possession, every bit of yard, I guess, is crucial. Now, the umpires picked a free out of that one, kicking in danger on a day like today, and it's going to Wayne Campbell of Richmond as Tallis comes off and replaced by Crow. Now, the kick from Campbell. Here's Gale out on the leak, couldn't hold on to it, goes down to the ground. Another possession. No, that one's Nash. I thought it was Callaway. Kick up towards full forward. Almost the mark to Burke. It hits the ground down there, going in hard. Collins gets the hand pass away for the Hawks, but the Tigers try and steal it off, and ball in dispute, kicked off the ground by Cooper. Was all right. Into the arms of Knights. Couldn't take the mark. He's got support from Broderick. He dumps it back in the arms of Knights. Knights at half forward for the Tigers. Back to Broderick, the old 1-2. Left foot kick is going to go to the goal square. Richardson, he's two out against the Hawthorn defence. And McGuinness, and with the help of Lawrence, forced it through for a behind. 3-12 to 5-1.
Now, Sam, would you have paid Richardson a free kick there? It looks like he was pulled off the ball, pulled around the neck, and got nothing out of it.
Well, I actually wouldn't have, Peter. I thought that Richardson and his opponent, was it McGuinness, were flying for the ball, and then just Lawrence just arrived on the scene. I don't think McGuinness was trying to hold him off for Lawrence. I just think they were battling for the ball.
Quickly at the Gabba for Harry's Liquor Markets, El Martello.
Swans fighting back. They're trailing by 11 points. Brisbane 10-13-73. The Swans 9-8-62.
Sounds like a great battle, that one. Back to you shortly. At the kick in it. Reaches defensive 50 for the Hawks. Taken by Stevenson. He's been good. Drives wide. Oh, Chrissy Bond's taken a terrific mark against Platten. He's forward of the wing, but not quite up to half forward. A point down Richmond. Bond goes short to Deere, and he's got space. He gallops to 50 and puts in a big bomb. Oh, it's out in the full. Well, it was disappointing in the end from the big experienced premiership ruckman.
I think they nevertheless have conceded they can't let Deere do too much of the ruck work. At least Lawrence has contested every hit out so far this quarter, so maybe they've decided we won't let Greg have a free rein for the rest of the game.
Collins kicks it back in. Deere's able to thump away. Ball hits the ground. Who can take this one? Umpire's letting it go. Kellaway and Bond. Bond's got it. Darts out of one tackle. Darts out of a Platten tackle. Lines them up from 40, and it's going to bounce close to the boundary line next to the behind post. Well, behinds might get them to the lead here. They're down 30-31 Richmond, 3-12 to 5-1 on the Crown Casino scoreboard. They've got a ball up right next to their behind post. Can they score here and maybe level it up, or maybe even get to the lead, Hutto?
Gale and Lawrence go at it in that forward pocket. Over the top came Lawrence, tapped it down. It's forced back towards the boundary line, and another throw in.
And now Lawrence has got to make sure he pushes it down to the front, and Gale's got to try and bring this ball back over his head to the goal scoring area.
Burke and Taylor standing in the goal square, but we've got a throw in the forward pocket. Gale goes up, gets the tap for the Tigers. It comes to the back. Collins will go in after that one. Loses it. Quick kick out of the pack from Rogers. Taylor battling it out. He's in front of Burke, and he kicks it off the ground, and he goes again. And safely on the members' side now, it's out of bounds again.
And for Harry's Liquor Markets getting tight at the Gabba, here's Al Martello. We'll take a score from you, Al, if you're there. No, not at the moment. 11 points Brisbane's way at last report. Might be close to three-quarter time. We'll come back to Al in a sec. At the throw-in, Lawrence makes 10 metres, bumps it forward to the pack as Sam has recommended. Of course, Sam is old ruck coach. For how many years were you working with Stephen, Sam?
Maybe three, Shane. But Gale's got to now hit this over the back. That's their main chance.
Got in front, and he did tap it to the back, and he tapped it to the back nicely. And now a chance for Kellaway or Nash. Neither could get it. Crawford's pace one out. Terrific play, Shane Crawford. Races off half-back and finds, does he, Minton-Connell? No. But Minton-Connell ran Wigney under the ball, picked it up right hand, one hand beautifully, and then kicked poorly, a low one, down to half-forward. Stopped by the Tigers and given away the hand pass by Tate. Was horrible. But he follows up with a brilliant smother. That's what Dake said was terrific. And the game opens up as Broderick's got it. There's no one near him. He's right in the centre. Good lead, Richardson. Did he grab it? No, he didn't. The ball fell short. Now it rebounds and a chance for Stevenson on the wing.
Stevenson, no, his claim gets a high hand pass, goes to McGuinness. He loses it as soon as he got it. Gale goes in there. It's tough. McCabe gets up, gets the hand pass away to Pritchard. And going in also hard is Crow. Working across with Deere off the ground. Gets it forward for the Tigers to centre half forward. In the open spaces, Cooper leads the chase for the ball. He's going in hard, as is Nash. Cooper, oh, clever. Kicks it to himself. Gets some support from Collins, who was running by. Collins' only target as he looked up was the boundary line because he saw Deere and Wigney further afield and he kicked it out of bounds.
It's a very, very good game of football. This tough. I mean, not pretty, but what would you expect when the ground's waterlogged and the players are dog-tired, but they're really battling very, very solidly indeed.
6 minutes in, 31 plays 30. Hawthorn in front by a point. The Tigers kick forward is marked safely by Lawrence at half-back for Hawthorn. Interesting battle between Lawrence and Deere today. Lawrence has kicked this time. Ball's a bit short, or Tate just lost it at the last minute. Gets some support from Callaway, but they can't get a clear position. Tate was tackled too high. Umpire in the wrong position, couldn't see it. Hand pass Knights to Wigney. Here go the Tigers. It tumbles the punt to centre half forward. Richardson gets one bite to it. Couldn't. He's got a free. He's got a free 50 metres out from goal. Over the shoulder.
He should be able to score here, Sam, with that breeze.
He should be able to score, and let's hope this game's not going to be ruined by free kicks which are doubtful. I'm going to wait for the benefit of the doubt on this from the scoreboard, from the replay, but that looked like a normal clash that's been going on all day.
Hutto, in his first call on AW, has fallen off the chair here. Hawthorn by a point. Critical kick, Richardson. 50 out, directly in front. He's going to score. It's level, but he's missed it. 3-13. 31 Richmond. Hawthorn 5-1-31. When people look at the scores of this game in 10 years, they'll say, oh, how would you have been out there? This has been as good as any free-flowing 15 or 20 goal game you want. Taylor kicks it in for the Hawks. To a Campbell-Langford battle. Campbell did well. Got his body in front. Kick off the ground, Graham. That's Mark Graham of Hawthorn. It wobbles in front of our broadcast point on the members' wing. And it's over for a throw-in. Now you're back from AWOL, Al Martello. You're going to talk to us now, old son.
I am. It's so exciting here, Shane. Three-quarter time, Brisbane lead by 11 points, 11-13-79 to the Swans 10-8-68.
Come back for your major goal kickers shortly. Dead level here. We're 7 minutes into the last quarter. Broderick, clever handball to Tape. He should give it to Daffy. Now Daffy's got time to weigh things up and kick to a good lead from Richardson, who's giving them something up here. He's 70 from goal, near the boundary line. Members side, half forward flank to paint the picture. Now he's got Gale lurking back. He's going to have to jump over Lawrence. Got it! No, he didn't get it, and I called it wrongly. He had it, but I don't think you'd pay it, would you, Daicos? I don't think you'd pay it.
It's wet weather. You'd nearly pay it. You'd have to pay it.
I reckon Lawrence had a fair share of it. He was in front. Would have been a very game decision to pay that to Gale.
When I uttered the words got it, he had it, but he just as soon as he had it, lost it. Oh, it's tight here. Dead level. Forward pocket. 5 metres out from Richmond's goal. Throw in Rogers at the back. Can he snap? He runs one way, then the other. It's going to be a mark. Benny Gale has marked it. 20 metres out right in front. And if you've watched this game from go to woe, as Sam suggested in the third quarter, it's like when Crisp lost that Grand National all those years ago to Red Rum. Richmond looks like it's Red Rum, just slowly but surely pegging Hawthorn back here. And now at dead level has the chance with Benny Gale to put itself in front, Bondi, for maybe the first time all day.
No, Tigers led from the 5-minute mark to the 6-minute mark when they scored the first goal of the game, and then it was even, and then the Hawks hit the front 13 minutes into that first quarter.
Well, I'm looking at John Northey. You'd think he was the opposition coach with an opposition player having a shot for goal. He's got his hands on his head at the moment, so not overly confident with Benny Gale.
It's home. He's kicked a very, very, very important goal as Benny. And the Tigers are in front of Waverley. 8 minutes final quarter. 4-13-37. Hawthorn 5-1-31. The Crown Casino scoreboard. Here's Sam Newman.
Well, we've said most of the day, 17 shots now to Richmond, 6 to Hawthorn. You'd think that would mean a walloping is on the cards. But of course, just the goal up, this will now test Hawthorn's resolve. As I said, Jason Dunstall, probably the most prolific ball gatherer and player and goal kicker certainly on the ground, just can't get a sniff because they can't get the thing to him.
And gee, haven't the Tigers worked hard? Lawrence spikes it forward from the throw-up. Up it goes to half-forward. Leading in the race for the ball is Campbell. He had the long sleeves on now. He's got the short sleeves. He's met heavily by Hudson. Campbell kept his feet beautifully. Kicks up towards the wing position. It bounces in the arms of Maxfield. He loses it. Richardson, his confidence up. Kicks it off the ground. Goes to Cooper, who tried to kick it off the ground but couldn't. Now Nash goes after it. Cooper is good. Holds his ground. They're working it into the forward pocket for Richmond. Working. Going in Collins. He handballs straight out of bounds. That was It's been paid. It's been paid. Did that slide out of his hands? No. He handballed it straight out of bounds, Daicos, but he wasn't the first one today to do that, and I think it's a bit harsh. Chris Nash will have a shot from 35, 40 metres out from goal from the boundary line. Sam?
Well, I reckon he actually did hand pass that deliberately out of bounds.
Nash's kick. It came back, but just not enough. I was lost for words. I thought for a minute that check side punt was going to come back and go through, but it's a behind.
That is a vital point, a vital point. That means Hawthorn are going to get down their end twice, and they've battled. They've had six scoring shots for the whole game, so to get it down twice to win the game will be a monumental effort.
Well, Matthew Richardson won a game for the Tigers at the Gabba last year on his own, and he's threatening to do it here. Takes a brilliant mark at the kick out. Looks for Rogers. He's not scored this time. It's bounced past Rogers and Andy Collins, and over for a throw-in. 11 minutes final quarter at Waverley. 20-odd thousand enjoying a titanic struggle. Richmond 4-14-38 lead Hawthorn. 5-1-31 throw-in 5 metres from the Tiger goal. Benny Gale takes it out of the air, kicks it straight up, straight down, and Lawrence thumps it over the boundary line. Al Martello, who's going to win at the Gabba? Well, we've got a moment.
Hard decision. I'll go with the Swans because they've got a slight breeze in this last quarter.
And coming home from how far down?
They are 11 points down.
Started yet?
About to start right now, Shane.
OK, come back to you shortly for Harry's Liquor Markets. Throw in deep in the forward pocket for the Tigers. Gale got the tap down. That was Benny to Michael. Good hand pass to Greg Deary. Fumbled it. It's been parried on within 20 metres of the Tiger goal. Benny Gale can't pick it up. Who can? In goes Kellaway. Free kick here. Oh, gee whiz, I had the glasses
for
right
a scoop.
For a scoop, was it? OK. I didn't see any infringement on a Hawthorn player. Going to go to Lawrence, who hand passes off to Pritchard. Runs out of fullback and looks here for McDonald. Thumped away cleverly there by young Burke. Through comes Andy Collins, dispossessed brilliantly by Campbell. Richmond's work rate is absolutely tireless, but now Langford gives it off to the pacey Crawford, and from centre half back he drives long.
Up to half forward, mark taken by Hudson with the gloves. He's handled the ball surely today in front of free. He's got to kick long according to Daicos. He doesn't, he goes short, but it's okay. Marked by Crawford. Dummies the hand now, gives it across to Crow. He goes long towards full forward, just the wrong side. Dunstall! He's marked it.
Over the line.
No, he was over the line, and it's a behind.
And I'll tell you what, I reckon he marked that on the half volley, and if it hadn't been over the line, I reckon he was going to be paid the mark.
Well, we had a look at it on the scoreboard at the moment on the replay, and gee, just dived away.
What do you reckon?
And I reckon he marked it inside the line. But anyway, the kick-in is marked by Callaway.
Definitely marked it inside the line.
So, gee, we've got more controversy. Goal umpires, we'll be having a look at that on the replay afterwards. But Callaway's got it at half-back, up towards the wing, a poor kick, straight to the arms of Mark Graham. Crown Casino scoreboard, 4-14-38 Tigers, 5-2-32 Hawks. But Graham's kick goes to half forward. Gale, Whitney it is, showing great strength. Picked it up, kicked it back towards the wing. Quick hands is good to Deer. Another hand pass to Bond. The Tigers not gaining much ground, but now Bond across his body. Back towards the wing position. Here's Benny Gale. Can he trap it? It's close to the boundary line. In the end, Cooper comes in. It skids out.
Al Martello at the Gabba for Harry's.
Battle the back lines at this quarter so far. Brisbane still leading by 11 points. 11-13-79. The Swans 10-8-68.
Richmond by 6 points here. We're 14 minutes into the last quarter, looking for 3 wins in a row for the first time for a long, long time, and a win over the Hawks for the first time in a decade. They're within sniffing distance of doing it as Crawford now wins it, loses it to the pressure of Wayne Campbell, who I reckon Sam's playing a really good last quarter. The little things have been great from Campbell.
Very good. He's not on his own. Knights has been good, not so much this quarter, but Bond's been good. And at least they've got Lawrence in contesting. In fact, Deer's now behind the play, doing a kick behind the play. So the roles reversed there.
And not surprisingly, that now the Tigers have taken the lead. So maybe that's got a bit to do with it. As Deer lurks back across half-back for the Tigers. And it's going to be Lawrence and Benny Gale to contest this. Richmond at 15 minutes last quarter in front by a goal over Hawthorn. 38-32. Benny Gale taps down. Platten can't get a clear possession. Benny Gale did, and Campbell, playing a last quarter from paradise here, has taken the mark near the boundary line. A diving slip catch mark, 75 from goal. Kicks it and hopes here for Richardson, but it wasn't a good kick. Gave David Burke and Richardson no chance. And Jason Taylor's taken the mark for Hawthorn. Back pocket. Member side. Kicks long. Greg Deer's going to lurk across here. Good mark. Not to Deer, but I think it's Kellaway, who is just a class act for a young fellow. Took a beautiful overhead mark. Kicks long on the left foot. Where are you, Richardson, they're saying? He's not there this time, and Collins reads it better than Rogers at the back of the pack and takes the mark at full-back for the Hawks and goes wide to Crawford.
Swings it across to Crawford, and Crawford has been a good player in this last quarter. Goes further afield, the half-back, marked by Stevenson. Off to Pritchard, sold him into trouble. Gets it back to Stevenson, under plenty of pressure. Off the ground, Pritchard, up to the wing, the Hawks. Gale's there, but Langford goes in for the Hawks and taps it clever into Minton-Connell. Can he get a hand pass away? He can. Kicked off the ground by Pritchard. It hits the boundary line. Was it out on the full first, or it pitched just in front? So we'll have a throw in front of 24,000 people, 24,820 so far today.
This is about Hawthorn's almost their last gasp. They've got to keep this down on their half-forward line and convert to a goal to have a chance, in my opinion.
There goes the throw. Coming out is Stevenson. He's been a good player. He's grabbed as soon as he got it. They work it to close towards 50. Platten gets it now. Tackled by Bond. Here goes Stevenson again. Kicks it quickly down. Dunstall and Turner. Dunstall! Oh, he couldn't mark it. No free play. Comes out to the ground. Kick off the ground. Wrong side of the goalpost. And it's a behind. And it's 5 points the difference.
I don't think behinds have ever been more vital, Peter.
Oh, without that, any score, Sam. And it was interesting seeing the Hawthorn runner. Minton-Connell was inside the 50, and he's come out there and he's got him out of the 50, and it worked because the ball came in at Dunstall and he nearly marked it. He's got to be on his own.
Great stuff, Peter Daicos with Sam Newman providing comments, and Turner's kick-out's a beauty. Lawrence lurks back, but well thumped forward by Whitney, who's been great for the centre line. Campbell and McDonald. McDonald didn't keep his feet, but Campbell did. Kicked off the ground out to the wing, an important pick-up, and he got it too. Picked it up running at full speed, and is forward of wing and drives long on left foot. Rogers jumped early into Collins. Free kick, Andy, on defensive 50. No. It was there. And quickly to UL Martello for Harries as Hawthorn start to attack.
And Brisbane by 9 points, 11-13-79. Swans 10-10-70.
Oh, kick out of defence. Kick out of defence. Finds Mark Graeme. He's got Crawford running as Daicos wants him to. It's 70 from goal. Tapes a long way behind. Crawford sizes up the option. Dunstall, no! A terrific effort by Free to come across the front of the pack. Hudson kicks off the ground, and it's another point to Hawthorn. And like the good side they are coming home hard here. 5-4-34 Hawthorn. Richmond 4-14-38, Crown Casino scoreboard.
Now, I tell you why that wasn't on down there in Richmond's forward line, because the Hawthorn player wasn't even looking at the ball, and the Richmond player quite correctly pushed him away from the ball because he had no intention of going for the ball, and he gave it as a push, and Hawthorn have kicked the thing right up here and scored a point.
Scott Turner kicks in for the Tigers. Wigney beaten in the marking contest, but he's got some support. Broderick dives to the ground with the ball. Play on the ball, work back to the centre circle. Hurry kick off the ground from Crow. Gives a chance for his teammate in Graham. Graham for the Hawks on the wings. Surveys the options. Crawford's one of them. I don't know if he meant to find it, but he did. Crawford didn't mark. He fumbled it. Play on. I thought he might have been held without it. Kick off the ground down to Dunstall and Turner. Dunstall pushes Turner over. Play on the call. Coming through is Hargraves. He gets a snap away, but it's out on the full. Oh, it's just desperate stakes down there.
Both teams taking a lot of chances. Hawthorn, to me, are moving the ball on a hell of a lot quicker now, and moving the ball actually to the opposite end of the ground on winning a possession, and it's starting to open the game up. More chances are taken.
Okay, Daicos for Harries. Al Martello quickly at the gather.
Brisbane still by 9 points, 11-13-79. The Swans 10-10-70.
Wigney's kick is marked by Stevenson. Hawks into attack again. On the bounce, Dunstall traps it at 15, and he's charged down in a tackle beautifully by Callaway. It spills down to Nick Daffy. Daffy goes short, and he's got Gale to run onto it. Michael Gale on the wing, but McDonald is quick there for Hawthorn. He dives and slides. Was he pushed out? No, it's out of bounds.
Sam Newman.
Well, I think we mentioned at the start of the game, I mentioned anyhow, that I thought the only thing that might get Hawthorn home would be their experience, and I've got a feeling they've lifted. They are peppering the goals or peppering the forward line anyhow, and you couldn't pick a winner here at this stage.
4 points the difference. Crawford coming into his own, falls over. Kellaway into his back. Umpire says free kick. and that was on. Crawford played a pretty fair last quarter here. He's right on the wing, Tiger supporters. You're hoping now that Hawthorn can't take a mark. Hawks wanting one. There it goes. Free spoils. Hudson hits the ground. Chance now for Stevenson. Can he pick up? No, he can't. Richmond desperately trying to bring it away here. It's a kick and a half from the Hawthorn goal. Free shepherding was terrific. In the end, Michael Gale's kick off the ground didn't work, and Stevenson's got it. Dispossessed. Free throws himself on the ball. It's close to the boundary. Play on, calls the umpire. Now Tony Free kicks away. Gets it to Michael Gale. And Gale finds Charles way out there on the wing, close to the boundary. Well, they did that well, Richmond. They kept it in play under enormous pressure. Charles plays on. Gets around Jason Taylor. Runs his full complement to Justin Charles. Kicks long on the left foot. Campbell jumps there and got into the back, according to the umpire, of his Hawthorn opponent, Langford. And he didn't have the size to even compete there. So the Hawks clear to Stephen Lawrence, halfback flank out of side. It is 21 minutes last quarter. Richmond by 4 points. Can they hang on after trailing all day? They hit the front about 10 minutes ago, but the Hawks are coming hard. There's a mark here.
Graham.
And it's taken by Mark Graham. Kicks on the left foot to centre half forward. It was a good disposal, but Minton-Connell couldn't take the mark. Jenke goes in. Oh, disposes of it nicely to Langford. Hand pass was poor. Kellaway dragged off it by Langford. It's still at centre half forward. He tries to set up Minton-Connell. Hand pass wasn't good. Platten dives in. Tate goes in as well. He gets a shove in the back. And a free kick for the Tigers at centre half back. 5-4-34 Hawthorn.
Ooh,
Richmond 4-14-38. And we are 21 minutes into the last quarter on the Crown Casino scoreboard.
Kick away, Tate marked by Wigney at half-back, kicks to half-forward. Richardson takes the mark on the chest, a long way from home, turns around, sees a player lurking down there. He's going to go long. It's a high kick. Gale in front for the Tigers. Up over the back came Rogers, who was the player calling for the ball. Hawk defence is desperate. Nace from 50, slaps it onto the boot. It's going to go close, but certainly not close enough. And it's through for a behind.
For Harry's Liquor Markets, Al Martello at the Gabba.
Brisbane by 14 points, 12-13-85. Swans 10-11-72.
And that was a marvellous kick by Stuart Wigney there. He pinpointed Richardson, and that resulted in a point. Could have easily been a goal, but he kicked the ball 50 metres to a great lead by Richardson, but a better kick because in these conditions it had to be spot on.
Crown Casino scoreboard, Richmond 4-15-39, Hawthorn 5-4-34, 22 minutes. There's an interchange being made perhaps for the blood rule with young David Burke coming on for Callaway, and that'll be a loss to the Tigers in these dying moments. 22 minutes gone, Langford with the ball, and he's going to bring it back into play. Sam Newman going off with the blood rule here in the box as Langford prepares to kick it in. Langford from fullback. Players looking for Taylor up to centre half-back, straight down the middle. Spoil came from Charles. Cooper gets a kick out of the pack. It'll go into the centre of the ground. The race on. Broderick is there, as is Minton-Connell. He gets pushed away. Broderick, clever hand pass. Sets up Whitney. Hasn't he been a good player for the Tigers? From the centre, he goes long to full forward. It's all Hawthorn. That was just so easy. And Langford takes the mark last line of defence. So the Tigers up by 5 points. Langford will have to clear. Oh, it's a short kick, goes to Crawford, tapped away. It's a player down in the centre of the ground, Minton-Connell, as the ball goes to Maxfield, who's claimed by Pritchard. The crowd calls for ball, umpire calls play on, picked up by Broderick, goes up towards Gale. Yes! No! Yes! He's paid it! I think he had to pay it, Dave.
Geez, can we ever agree on anything?
Well, describe what you saw, Peter.
Well, really, he's killed off the ball, the first spot. I mean, very hard to take a mark as a one-grade player in this sort of weather, and he killed off the ball by tapping it forward, and on the way down after being knocked by a Hawthorn player, that looked to me as if it bounced off his shoulder and straight onto the mat. So he's got it, and it's paid. They never, ever reverse him.
Well, I just felt Minton-Connell limping off here. Huddo, you called a Hawthorn player down in the middle, and that's who it was. I just felt as he was going down, and I watched the umpire, he just seemed to get a purchase just at the bottom. Whether it was a good enough purchase is debatable, and the umpire had a good look and then actually emphatically put his hands up to say, I'm paying the mark.
He did.
Well, Gale about to shoot for goal from 50 metres out. Now, the excitement was clearly too much for Sam Newman, who had to leave the box. But he's back and ready to give us some more comments. But this is such a crucial stage now. Brendan Gale could just about seal the game for the Tigers. 5 points in front. He's 45 to 50 metres out from goal. And just having a look at him, he must be a little bit nervous. His concentration, just a head over the ball, just looking at the target, probably visualising what he's doing. 40 metres out, plumb in front. Gale's kick, not good.
It does sneak in for a behind, and as Sam has been saying, every behind is vital. Have a listen to the Crown Casino scoreboard. Richmond 4:16.40, Hawthorn 5:4.34, 24-minute mark.
And they should draw the game. Well, they should draw it now.
Well, that's certainly a vital behind, because that gives them a clear goal and in front. So Hawthorn have to get it down twice to win.
And we're at 25 minutes, and here's Langford. Oh, he was on his way, and then it seemed to fall off his boot, and now he's limping. Oh, I'm not sure if he's limping or just can't believe what he just did. I don't know if he tried to finesse the ball, Sam, but it just hit his foot and spilled off.
I think he hesitated because he was looking up the ground. He didn't want to waste a kick, and there was nothing on, so I think he tried to take an extra step to wait for someone to make some position.
Lawrence beats Deer in ruck and thumps it 20 metres to the good of the mighty Hawks. It's out near the boundary. It's over for a throw-in. Now let's paint the picture. It's right on the wing, the true wing. Duncan Kellaway's been taped up. He's got more glow mess there than you'd see in any normal bandage case. He's unbelievably bandaged up. Al Martello quickly at Brisbane, holding on okay up there at the Gabba.
They're hanging on well, Shane. They lead by 19 points as MacGyver lines up for number 6, 13-13-91. The Swans 10-12-72.
So they're heading for a big match next Sunday against Carlton up there, 1:15 start. And of course Sydney, 3 losses in a row in games where they've been competitive every time. They're not gone yet, the Swans. And that cross to L4, Harry's Liquor Markets at the throw-in with Richmond in front here by 6 points. McDonald takes it for Hawthorn, drives it high down toward the half-forward line. Can Richmond try and relieve here? Through came Broderick, terrific work, and drove down toward the wing. McGuinness, Richardson go at it. Richardson fell over, and McGuinness carries it across the boundary line under pressure from Justin Charles. I think the Tigers might hold on. It's reached 26 minutes, and they're 4:16.40. That vital goal in front of Hawthorn, 5:4.34. Sam said 6 goals might win it. Who would believe it? 4 goals may win it here. As Hawthorn work it forward again, Tape running with the flight of the ball, couldn't mark it, opens up possibly. Kick off the ground now by Taylor. It's inside Hawthorn's 50. Daffy goes in, dispossesses Dunstall. Great pick-up, Wigney. You've been terrific. Kicks it wide, hoping for the boundary, but it's danger because it's 2-on-1, and Jenkins got it. This is it. Hand passes in front of himself. Gets it across field. Holland falls over.
Get it on.
He is gone, and yes, he's gone. He just lay over the top of the footy, and that might have been Hawthorn's last chance. They look to have broken there, and then Richmond held them up. Knights has got the free kick 40 metres from Hawthorn's goal.
Well, look, a bit of inexperience by Holland. He should have realised after almost 95 minutes of play that the umpire's going to ping you if you lie over it. He should have just swatted that ball out into the open and had a chance, or hoped that Dunstall would be somewhere.
Knights does what he has to do for the Tigers. Drives it back to the wing. Hasn't Crawford been a good player? Goes in after it again, but he's conceding ground all the time. And Richardson kicks it off the ground. Going in hard is Holland. He's quickly tackled by Burke. This is fierce stuff from the Tigers, and the end result is good for them. It's over the line and out of bounds, and a bit of a fight going on between Rogers and Collins. But, gee, the temper's, not surprisingly, the temper's flaring at the moment.
For Harry's at the Gabba, Al Martello.
Brisbane at home here. They lead by 31 points, 15-13-103. The Swans 10-12-72.
Tigers by 6 points at Waverley. Another throw up on the wing position. We've played 28 minutes. 28 minutes on the Crown Casino scoreboard. 6 points the difference to the Tigers. Can the Hawks go forward? Punch away from Crawford. Grabbed by Stevenson, but grabbed by Gale. Forces it forward in the hands of Nash. Tigers will be happy. Umpire calls play on, but he's going to have to bounce it soon. And now he makes that decision, crosses the arms. And gee, we've played 28 and a half minutes, and Hawthorn may have one more chance at this. Let's see if they can get it forward. Surely the quarter won't go that long. 4:16-5-4. Tigers in front by 6 points. Platten, kicks it the wrong way. Kicks it, sorry, not the wrong way, the right way, up towards half forward. I'm losing my bearings. It's a free kick, and it's going Richmond's way to Matthew Knights on the wing position.
Maybe the most critical free kick of the day, right there. I think it was on Sammy, right around the neck.
And Matthew Knights, the old campaigner, wandering back, just wandering, Shane.
And finds Richardson with a delightful pass. How many stats Richardson for Ford Care Bondi in the last quarter?
On a day like today, Shane, it's his 10th mark for the game, 4 marks in this quarter, and coming in for his 7th kick for this quarter.
I think they're going to hang on the Tigers as he drives long. Pack rises. and it's wobbled over the boundary line. 55 from Richmond's goal. They're in front 40-34. They've come from behind, and this might be it. 3 wins in a row. They are going to go bereft, these Tiger supporters, when this siren goes. One would reckon they'll hang on now. Lawrence taps down. Platten's there. He's run his legs off, but just can't get hold of the footy. David Burke parries it toward the boundary. It stays in from some good work there from McGuinness. In goes Campbell, who's been so courageous.
Terrific.
Hargraves dives on him. How good's Campbell been, Daicos, with the little things in this last quarter?
Especially in this last quarter. I think you've hit it on the head. He's been a tremendous player and been down for most of the day, but was inspirational there on just gaining possession of that ball.
I've just had a little look along the swooper. He's got his head on top of his hands, just praying now for that siren to go. Richmond by 6 points. Throw in forward of the wing for the Tigers. 30 minutes. They're going to hold on, you'd reckon. Crown Casino scoreboard.
There it is. Richmond win by 6 points. And the elation here, understandably, both players from both sides hugging each other. And what a great battle we've seen. But the Tigers, 3 in a row. Matthew Richardson punts the air, and why couldn't he? Handshake with Nick Holland. Great emotion for the Tigers. They all gather at half forward.
John Northey clapping his troops off the ground. He was sitting in the box, standing, clapping away. So that gives you an indication of just what's gone into this game and what he thinks of his players' efforts.
Well, Sam, only a goal and only 6 points, but it's a long time since I've seen a side fight as hard as they did and do all the little things and finally get rewarded. It was really reward for effort there, wasn't it?
Absolutely, Shane. 20 scoring shots to 9. They deserved to win the game. They were the better side. I think we said that a very fine piece of goal kicking early by Hawthorn managed to ease them into the lead, and it kept there through that accuracy, but you couldn't take anything away from Richmond. In fact, why would you? Because they won the game by a goal in what was, under very trying and difficult conditions, a fantastic game of football. This is the other side of what football's about, not the high marks and the Wayne Carey's going through the hoops, but 18 guys interchanged through the 21 rule, going through their hoops down here and playing very tough, gritty football, some of it very intelligent and most of it inspiring.
Well, they've just been clipped to a man off the ground here, the Tigers. Richardson and Michael Gale and Broderick, the last 3 to leave. Stuart Wigney, interestingly, the first off, and he was just absolutely fantastic today. Bondy, I know you'll want to get the atmosphere for us down in those rooms, so after Al, we might quickly take your Ford Care stats. Al, it looks like Sydney haven't been able to go on with it up there, and the Bears are sailing to another home win. Let's check your score for Harry's.
Ed Considine lining up for the Swans, who'll be going for his second goal in this quarter, but they trail by 25 points, 15-13, 103 to the Swans, 11-12, 78.
The final score here at Waverley, 4-16-40. Richmond has defeated Hawthorn 5-4-34, and Bondi, you can check those goal kickers as well, old son, because I lost track of them in that exciting last quarter.
Thanks, Shane. Well, it's the first game in 17 contests that the Tigers have defeated Hawthorn. Hawthorn had 16 on the trot before today, back to 1985. So a great effort. 2 goals to Benny Gale, 2 goals to Matthew Richardson for the Richmond side. For Hawthorn, 2 to Stevenson, 1 to Minton-Connell, 1 to Hudson, and Jason Dunstall, 2 marks, 2 kicks, 1 goal for the day. The ball just didn't get down there, the champion full forward. Paul Broderick for the Richmond side, 8 kicks and 14 hand passes. Chris Bond had 22 kicks. Wayne Campbell, 7 kicks in the first 3 quarters, but 7 valuable kicks in that last quarter to give him 14 for the game. Michael Gale, sensational, 20 kicks and 6 hand passes, and his brother Benny, 12 kicks, including the goal that put the Tigers up, 2 goals and 6 hand passes. Duncan Kellaway, 21 possessions, 15 and 6. Matty Knights, 12 and 7. Matthew Richardson, on a day where marking was hard, took 10 marks, including 4 in the last quarter, 13 kicks and 2 goals coming in that third quarter. Jamie Tape had 12 kicks and 9 hand passes. Wigney had 13, and Chrissy Nash 9 kicks and 7 hand passes. For the Hawks, Crawford had a great game, 25 possessions, 13 and 12. Hudson 8 kicks and 2 behinds in that last quarter, vital snaps that could have gone through. Lawrence had a great game with 13 kicks and 7 marks. He had 14 hit-outs, and Greg Deere had 28 hit-outs, only took the 1 mark and had 6 kicks, but great work around the ground to Greg Deere today. Stevenson, 14 kicks, including 2 goals. Pritchard had 16 kicks, Johnny Platten, well kept quiet by Chris Bond. Didn't get a kick in the last quarter to finish the day with 11 and 3. Langford had a good game, 15 kicks and 6 hand passes. But overall, Richmond dominated the stats, having over 300 possessions to the Hawthorn side, around about 220. So well done to the Tigers. Out of the centre was 6 apiece on the day, but 7 of those Richmond behinds were rushed, and they finished up 4-16-40, 6 points ahead of Hawthorn, 5-4-34, and they're the stats on behalf of Ford Care.
Well, there's no doubt about it. You are Australia's premiership stats man as we check those stats for Ford Care. Thanks, Bondy. A quick update from